Ladies and gentlemen, this is the event you have all been waiting for, our top 32 of round 5 of Scottish Virtual Drift Series. Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to be an action-packed day, I'll tell you that much. We had a very eventful top 64, but we did have quite a few buy runs. Some of our drivers waiting out for the 3.0 data for next season. So if you do want to take part of that, make sure to go to www.scottishvirtualDriftSeries.com and you can get yourself entered for Series 2, where we will be on 3.0 data. For now, though, we are still on the 2.0, but we do have our first battle coming up here any moment. Alex, take it away.
Yeah, so we're going to be having Liam Scarehill versus, I don't think, right, that is Connor Aspel versus Jason Coate.
Connor Aspel versus Jason Coate. Two of these drivers, very, very talented drivers. Two very cool cars, the E36 and that S14. Both super cool cars to look at and watch go around track. We did have a buy run previous to this, was Brendan Stacy, as Josh Byrne unfortunately was not able to make it. So Connor Aspel and Jason Coate ready to go for our first battle of the top 32. Man, this is an exciting one, Alex. How are you feeling? Are you pumped for today?
Yeah, I'm very excited. I'm excited to see all these battles. Of course, a lot of stuff is going to happen today. Obviously, Owen Magner, Darius Ostraka, all fighting for the championship.
Don't count him out, but here we go. Jason Coate and Connor Aspel. Aspel taking the lead on this first run here, looking solid in that first outside clip. Coming into the first outside zone, nice and deep. Jason Coate trying to stick onto the door of that S14. Manages to find that proximity, lunging up onto the door of Mr. Connor Aspel here, as Aspel throwing out a beautiful lead line for Jason Coate to run. Oh, lunges in just a little bit too much. Puts a bumper into the door of that S14 and just manages to fall off just a little bit. But hey, you know what? Connor Aspel throwing out a beautiful lead line, and Jason Coate with his mistakes, but still put down a pretty good chase run there. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do on the flip side. Alex, what do you think of that run? Never did get an answer that day. Anyways, Connor Aspel, a phenomenal driver, did a phenomenal job in that lead position. I believe that he might have a bit of an advantage here, as he did throw down a clean run with Jason Coate making a few mistakes in that chase position. So now we're going to switch him up and see if Jason Coate can keep his composure here and put down a good lead run. And Connor Aspel going to be trying to get a good chase run going. Now here you go, you can see them getting lined up, getting set, getting ready to go. Once again, our start gate is a little bit different with foregoing that normal chicane that you normally see in start gates. We are having our drivers start front and back behind each other and in front of each other so that they can start off on a straight line, because our run-up is quite short today here at Driftland. But here we go, Jason Coate in the lead position and Connor Aspel in the chase now. Coate entering in nice and deep. Connor Aspel lunging up onto the side of that E36, wanting to keep that proximity and get nice and deep onto the door. Jason Coate, beautiful lead line so far into these touch and goes here. Connor Aspel, though, matching everything that Jason Coate throws at him. But just as I say that, throws a little bit too much angle, falls back off the back of that E36 just a little bit, and finishing it around that final inside clip. Remember, that final inside clip is a reverse clip. You want to be as wide as possible around it while still grabbing that clip. That is the A line. It's an A to D line. The last clip is your A line, and the most inner point is the D line. You want to be on that wide line. So you can see that Mr. Aspel in his lead did a pretty good job at following that, but still went a little bit tight to it. And Jason Coate also going nice and wide on it like he's supposed to. So the judges are going to be taking a look at this and deciding who is going to come out on top for our first battle of the top 32. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're having a good time, make sure to tell us in the chat if you're going to be if you're excited for this round, and maybe drop some predictions. Who do you think is going to take the championship? Our current three front runners right now are Mr. Daniel Andrejev. We have Darius Ostraka as well as Owen Magner. So those are our three front runners for the championship tonight. So make sure to leave your predictions down in the comments. But Connor Aspel, Jason Coate, swipe him left or swipe him right. And that's one judge, two judge, three judge. It looks like it's unanimous. Connor Aspel is going to get the win for our first battle of the top 32. Alex, man, that was one hell of a first battle. What are you thinking?
Yeah, nice battle to start off the night with Jason Coate and Connor Aspel. Sadly, Jason Coate will have to put it back on the trailer and go home, but Connor Aspel is going on to the top 16. So we're going to be moving on to our next battle here. The drivers should be at the line any moment now. And we're going to be, here we go, Alexander Perez versus Danielis Parangauskas. very hard mouthful word to say there. But yeah, it's going to be a very good battle. Alexander Perez proving himself in one of the rounds, getting a podium, and Danielis being a very well-known and profounded driver.
Absolutely. Alexander Perez, a very stylish driver. We love to see the kind of angles and just how much he can throw that car around tracks like this, especially with how tight and technical these cars get in this layout. It's lovely to see how much angle they can throw at it. But Danielis Parangauskas, definitely not a slouch either. We saw him yesterday in top 64, throw down a really good battle, and it looks like he's nice and comfortable in that brand new 370Z. So here we go. Alexander Perez in the lead position. Look at that big initiation on that first outside clip. Big angle, just as we like to see from Alexander Perez, with Danielis not having a great time to chase, but timing it correctly to get up onto the door of Alexander Perez, but a little bit of a correction there, and it looks like it might have thrown Danielis off there in the chase position, but Alexander Perez throwing out a beautiful lead run and finishing it out really strong, but maybe a little bit wide there, finishing out the run a little bit too committed there is Alexander Perez. That could work as a deficit to him. Alex.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there on that first transition, but it made me look like that Alexander Perez did choke up Danielis, and it might have caused Danielis to straighten, or Danielis just could have straightened, but we don't know. We'll see on the replay, and here we go.
Absolutely. Danielis here, look at that big initiation, getting up onto that first outside zone. With Alexander Perez choking himself off just a little bit, letting that rear bumper of that 370Z get past him here as he transitions. Look at that, getting up onto the door of that 370Z. Beautiful job in that chase position. Look at that, putting the pressure on to the end of the course here. Danielis throwing a beautiful lead line, and Perez getting phased by it just at the end there.
Yeah, we'll have to look at the replay here. Yeah, so let's look at the second corner here. So you can see Alexander Perez transitions, and it looks very weird. It looks like his car sort of crab walks.
Yeah, it looks like he might have thrown down a little bit too much angle for his own good and had to kind of left foot brake it out to the next clip, but that also might have slowed down his car quite a bit, for Danielis might not have been able to make up for it, unfortunately. But here we go. You can see the second run here as Danielis throwing a beautiful lead line, but Perez has an interesting tactic for transitioning behind somebody. He likes to get right up and close. You can see then he makes a quick slow up so that he can try and get on the side of the car. But right here's where we're going to be focusing. Alexander Perez kind of leaves a little bit to be desired on this last transition and puts a tire up onto the rumble strip at the end, as well as doing the same thing in his lead run near the end here. You can see on the left side of your screen, Alexander Perez, look at this. Here's the mistake that we're looking at. Alexander Perez throws a bit too much angle, and it looks like has to readjust the car out there, and Danielis ends up straightening up behind him because it almost looked like he had just nowhere to go. So Alexander Perez, look, you can see also in this last transition going a little bit too wide and dropping some tires into the dirt over the line. The judges are going to be deciding whether that's going to weigh heavily on the score, but I think that mistake right here on that left side of the screen is what's going to be the big deciding factor right here, whether that was Alexander Perez's fault or if Danielis was getting just a little bit too overzealous. What are you thinking, Alex?
Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to let the judges decide on this one, as it is a very hard call to make. But they can see Alexander Perez's speed, see if Perez made that mistake. But we won't know. Here we go. Swiping left for Alexander Perez, swiping right for Danielis. And yeah, as we thought, Danielis will get the win. Yeah, it just looks like Alexander Perez did put on a bit too much angle and slowed down and choked up Danielis in the chase.
That is unfortunate, as I'm sure Alexander Perez would have loved to go a lot farther in competition today, and I was kind of expecting him to, but Danielis playing spoiler and getting to move on to the top 16 with Alexander Perez unfortunately putting it up onto the trailer. So Alex, who's up next?
Yeah, next battle is going to be Larry Gouchois versus Simon Sandman. Larry Gouchois in that S15, currently borrowing Polaris's S15, and that is going to be Simon Sandman in the chase. A lot of fans for Simon Sandman in the chat today.
We love to see it. We love people supporting their favorite drivers, and Simon Sandman definitely came out swinging, has been an underdog. I believe it was round 3 that he went toe-to-toe with Darius Ostreka in the finals, so he knows what he's doing in the chase position. Here we go. A beautiful initiation from Larry Gouchois, but throwing a little bit of corrections here in that first outside zone. But look at this. Simon Sandman just massaging that S15 on the side of Larry Gouchois. Look at that.
Oh my
God. Pushing him through this last section of the track. This transition, though, that last transition always race proves to be difficult, but Simon Sandman was not phased by it whatsoever. Larry Gouchois, though, throwing down a pretty decent lead line. So let's see how they do on the flip side of this battle. Simon Sandman, one to watch out for. This man has a tendency to just explode at the right moments in competition, to just be fantastic and just a sensation, as people in the chat are, in fact, massive fans of Simon Sandman. And I get it, man. He's got a good-looking car, and he's got an even better-looking driving style. But here we go. Simon Sandman in the lead position here with Larry Gouchois in the chase. Simon Sandman, beautiful initiation. Gouchois losing a bit of ground, going a bit too inside with Simon Sandman throwing down a beautiful lead line. Look at that transition, snapping it into the outside zone, getting into the touch and go now, throwing good amount of angle. Sandman, wow, look at that wide line. Gouchois not able to keep up as it seems. Transitioning, wow. Gouchois cutting the line at the end there, but Simon Sandman just sensational, putting out a fantastic lead there. Now you can see them on the left-hand or the right-hand screen. You get to see them side by side, and leave your predictions in the comments of who you think is going to win this battle. But I mean, there's a lot to dissect here, and I'm sure the judges are going to have quite a bit of a discussion. But I think we all know who our chat's going to be pulling for today.
Yeah, and it's going to be a very easy decision for the judges, I personally think. As you can see, Larry Gouchois not really getting on the door as much as Simon Sandman was, and Simon Sandman's lead was just incredible. You can see very smooth, committed, and calculated in the chase and the lead. So swipe
Absolutely.
him
But
for
Larry.
Larry.
Swipe him left. Oh, no, swipe him right.
Okay.
Simon Sandman gets the win. Beautiful job from Simon Sandman. He's going to get to move on to the top 16 and hopefully even farther, as our fans here love to see him go at it. But here we go. Alex, who's coming up next? Who's our next fate of battle here to come in and slay?
Yeah, so our next battle should be Ethan Gardner versus Marcel Szynski. And that's going to be a very interesting battle. Marcel Szynski getting first place last round, and it's going to be a very calculated and well done battle.
Absolutely. Marcel Szynski, a phenomenal driver, has shown up and shown out every round he's come to. Well, and while it might not always end in a podium, he has a win under his belt, as well as a lot of good battle experience. But I wouldn't sleep on Ethan Gardner either. A very interesting driver, a very good style. Ethan Gardner definitely going to be able to put up a fight, but will he be able to take down the absolute titan that is Marcel Szynski? We're going to be getting them loaded in here any moment now. And yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you are, while we're waiting to get our drivers set up and situated, make sure that if you want to get in on the action and go up against some of the best drivers in Scottish drifting and drifting in general, some of our best drivers, if you want to go up against them, you can sign up for Series 2 at the website www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com. Once again, that is www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com. You can go over there, sign up for Series 2, and check out everything else on the website, because I think it's really well set up. We appreciate you for taking a break and watching those ads while we loaded in our next drivers. Next up, Alex, who we got?
Next battle, we have Ethan Gardner versus Marcel Szynski. And I don't see Ethan Gardner at the line here. Maybe he's just pulling up, but...
Marcel Szynski, a phenomenal driver, but if I'm correct, I don't think this is the car he normally drives. Is he borrowing somebody else's ride?
No, this is his car, but yeah, he hasn't been able to change the paint, as he's obviously already changed the paint this season, but he has joined the new... He's obviously been joining, looking around at different teams, and yeah. This is his car, but he just doesn't have the right paint on it right now.
Fair enough. Well, Marcel Szynski, a phenomenal driver. We've seen him go at it so many times before, and he is just a machine when it comes to throwing down those aggressive lines. So hopefully Ethan Gardner is able to show up here and get onto the side of this man, because it is going to be one hell of a battle. Either that, or it could be a buy run for Mr. Szynski, and that might be a nice little ticket into the top 16 for him. But either way, we're in line for a barn burner here. I mean, this guy just knows how to throw down. So I am excited to see what happens here, whether it's a buy run or a battle. And it looks like it's going to be a buy run for Marcel Szynski. So here you go. You can see him in his S14 setting it in. Beautiful job on initiation. I think it's an S14. I can't quite tell from up here, but looking pretty good in this next outside zone. Beautiful job. Look at that angle. He's carrying through it into the touch and goes. Big snap to angle here as he gets out into this next outside zone into the last section of the course here. You see him reeling on the angle. Big transition. Look at that. Finishing out at a 90-degree angle. Man, you love those buy runs where you get to just have fun on your run and get another extra practice lap in. So Marcel Szynski, everybody, be sure to watch out for him in the top 16. But I believe up next, Alex, who do we got?
Next battle, we have Bergmanis versus Brandon Carter. So this is going to be a very interesting battle. Bergmanis being in that Toyota Supra and Brandon Carter being in that Lucas Oil S15.
Absolutely. Brandon Carter, a driver that I'm familiar with, and I know that he is always pushing to get better. He hasn't had the greatest luck in events previous, but he did have that lovely little buy run into the top 32, so he gets to go up against Dominic Bergmanis. But here we go, Bergmanis and Carter. Bergmanis setting it in that beautiful A80 Supra. Look at that beautiful initiation as he comes around that first outside zone. Carter all over the side of that Supra as he lunges in, trying to get up onto the side of it. But look at that, Brandon Carter just putting on the aggression. This is the best I've seen him drive all series, just pushing up onto the side of that Supra. Just a little bit of a line adjustment, and cuts the clip, unfortunately. Man, it looked like it was going to be a really good run for Brandon Carter, but unfortunately, he did make that quite a big mistake here at the end. It's sad to see when you make a mistake, so hopefully he can make up for it in his lead run, and hope that Bergmanis makes a mistake in his chase run to either even it out or maybe push it over to Brandon Carter's side. But whatever happens, this is an exciting battle. Dominic Bergmanis and Brandon Carter. Let's see how they do on the second run. Going red and the lights are going green, and here we go. Brandon Carter is away with Bergmanis right on the tail. Look at this big initiation. Brandon Carter nice and deep in that first outside zone with Bergmanis already all over the side of that S15 Sylvia. Look at this, pushing up onto the door, but falling back just a little bit as Brandon Carter manages to get away just a little bit from Bergmanis, but Bergmanis now lunging up onto the side of that S15. Look at this. Brandon Carter, though, finishing out the run strong. A phenomenal showing for Brandon Carter, but will it be enough to offset his mistake from the first run? Alex, I don't know if it will be, but I mean, it's still a very exciting battle to watch. You can see the side-by-side here, the comparison between both chase runs and both lead runs. Lead runs were actually, I'd say, pretty similar. I think the chase run here is going to be the deciding factor, but what do you think, Alex?
I will say one thing. I think Brandon Carter's lead was a bit better, as like on the initiation, you could see Bergmanis having like sort of a stepped initiation. Like he sort of goes to one angle and then switches to another halfway through the initiation, but Brandon Carter keeps good angle through the whole track. I think Brandon Carter will have the advantage in the lead there, but in the chase, Brandon Carter cutting that clip might be a massive, massive deduction for him. That might cut it for him.
Yeah, unfortunately, we should be taking it over to the judges' screen soon, but We are excited to see who takes the win here. I mean, Brandon Carter putting up one of the hardest fights I think I've seen him do all season. I mean, he was really gunning for that win, and unfortunately, he did make that mistake. But I mean, either way it goes here, I'm still going to be patting him on the back by the end of the day. He's driving pretty friggin' good compared to how normally, like, sometimes he makes his mistakes. But I mean, this time, I mean, he was looking solid, and I'm very proud of him as a friend of his. Super cool to see these guys go at it here. And once again, if you are enjoying this and you do want to take part next series, we do have Series 2 coming out, and tickets are live on the website, which is once again www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com. So ladies and gentlemen, make sure to head over to the website and get yourself entered for Series 2, because we want to see you. We want to see what you bring to the table and how hard you drive. And I think that every one of the people who watch this series has potential. So make sure to get signed up if you think you have what it takes to go up against some of the most titans of drifting in the sim. But here we go. Swipe them left for Dominic Madness and swipe them right for Brandon Carter. And the judges are going to be making their decision here if they're going to swipe it left or swipe it right, or they can keep it right in the middle for one more time.
I think, yeah.
This is going to be an interesting call here, so let's see what the judges decide.
Don't know, they might stay in the middle, maybe.
It's possible, but here we go. Dominic Madness or Brandon Carter. Come on now, judges. Got to give the people what they want. Who do you think is going to win? Oh, and it looks like we're going to go back to our replays here. And while we're waiting, put your guesses in the comments. Who do you think is going to win? Do you think it's going to be Brandon Carter or Dominic Madness? And while you're making predictions, our three front runners for the championship at this event is Owen Magner, Daniel Andrejev, and Darius Ostraka. There are three front runners in the championship, so make sure to leave in the comments who you think is going to take it home, take the big trophy home, and have themselves a good time. Who do you think is going to get their chance here? We love to see it for sure. Brandon Carter throwing down really well in that chase position, but right here, I think this is where he lost it on that left-hand side of the screen. He was left foot braking, trying to keep the car behind that A80 Supra, but just couldn't find the room and the power to put down, and unfortunately, when he transitioned, the car just went really shallow. That is unfortunate. Alex, what are you thinking so far? Or not. Once again, I'll throw it back to myself.
Sorry. Yeah, I don't know. There's nothing more to say about this battle. We just got to let the judges do their thing. And
Fair enough.
It's not really.
We have some guesses. We have some guesses in the chat. Somebody thinks that Dominic Madness is going to take the win at this battle, and it does look like it might be the case, especially after that mistake that Brandon Carter made. But I mean, hey, still a really fun battle to watch. We love when these battles come out and they're fully completed, and they are both runs are going at it. It's super fun to watch and super fun to commentate too. We love being up here in the booth, me and Alex, and we're having a good time. What do you think?
We're just having a good time, sitting here waiting for this decision. Obviously, judges are checking replays and doing a lot to make sure they make the right call, and it's very hard, but you know they gotta do it.
For sure, we love we love giving them their time. We want to make sure we get the most close and accurate calls as we possibly can from our judges, because yes, humans do make mistakes, and sometimes our judges will too. We want to give them as much time as they need to make sure that they are thorough and try and make as little mistakes as they possibly can when it comes to an event like this. But yeah, that's how you can tell. When calls take this long to come out, it means they're discussing. They're making sure that they're getting the right call down there on the pad, on the paper, and make sure that we get a good show and keep everybody happy. Because you know, the best part about drifting is that the fans, I'd say, become judges in and of themselves, where they they have their opinions. They watch a run, they watch the two runs, and though sometimes they might not know the judging criteria entirely, they can make educated guesses, especially being fans of the sport. And we love when people do make educated guesses, because I mean it's it's part of the sport. You get everybody's opinion, you get everybody's enjoyment, but it's nice when we get our judges here making the right call in everybody's eyes. So unfortunately, yes, sometimes it takes a little bit longer, but yeah, we're trying. Alrighty, we're getting word here that we are going to run up to the next battle here. As you can see already, Darius Ostrega and Kian Reddy. Darius Ostrega finishing out what I imagine was a phenomenal lead run with Kian Reddy. Unfortunately, not being able to keep up there. Unfortunately, we cut over just a little bit too late, and I feel like our system might have actually been down for that vote when it came between Bergmanis and Brandon Carter. But I'm pretty sure it's safe to assume that Bergmanis might have gotten the win there. But we will come back to that screen afterwards. With Darius Ostrega and Kian Reddy now lined up for their second half of the battle. Ostrega in the chase position and Kian Reddy in the lead position. Kian, I know, is a fantastic driver and a very aggressive driver, but it looks like he might have been falling back in that chase position, but we didn't get all of the information, so it's hard to make an assumption by now. But here we go, Kian Reddy in the lead position, Darius Ostrega in the chase. Here we go, Ostrega already lunging up to the side of Kian Reddy, getting, nosing in, almost nosing forward and around Kian Reddy as he almost passed him, it looked like. But Kian Reddy throwing out a good lead line here, coming into this outside touch and go. Beautiful job here from Ostrega. Look at that, just practically pushing him through this back section of the course, transitioning with him and finishing out the run strong as Kian Reddy drops a tire after the line. That's going to be interesting to look at here. But a phenomenal run for both of these drivers. I mean, it sucks that we didn't get to see the full first run, but Darius Ostrega just showing that he is I swear that this man must have taken classes from James Dean or something, like one of the better guys in the world. I mean, he must have taken classes from them because he is a incredibly consistent and aggressive driver. And here we go, swipe him left for Darius Ostrega, swipe him right for Kian Reddy, and the judges will be making their decision any moment. That's 1, 2, 3, unanimous for Darius Ostrega. And who, Alex, is up next? Oh, and we're getting word that we won't be seeing the screen, but Dominic Bergmanis did get the win over Brandon Carter, which is unfortunate for Brandon Carter, as he's going to be packing it up on the trailer for that top 32 battle. But Dominic Bergmanis getting to move on to the top 16 and gets, we'll get to see further competition. Same with Darius Ostrega here, as unfortunately Kian Reddy will also be packing it up and putting it on the trailer. And I believe that means we might be moving on to our next group. So ladies and gentlemen, stick with us. The show's only going to get better.
Let's escape, girl, tonight.
None of them boy, they no bad. None of them boy, they no bad. None of them boy, they no bad. Bad man, send power to some archbishop. Them no bad.
You know I suggest. You know I suggest. Let's go.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the second half of the top 32 for SVDS round 5. We have already had an explosive first half of the bracket, so we are moving on to the second half. If you did not catch the first half of the bracket, you can go back in the stream, but I wouldn't advise it because the second half is only going to get even better. Maybe go back and catch what you missed after the stream is over. But up next, we have our battle between Cameron Mustard and Chris Kessler. We should have Kessler rolling up, but it could be a bye run as we're looking at only one car on a track right now. We're hoping to get into our next group of people here. This is going to be a good one, though. Looks like it, and it looks like we're getting word here. Cameron Mustard is going to have a bye run. Unfortunately, Chris Kessler was not able to make it. That's too bad. We love to see our robot friend of Chris Kessler. But that was, yeah, this is going to be awesome here as we see Cameron Mustard going to go for what I'm sure is going to be a fantastic run. Big initiation of that first outside clip, coming into the outside zone, lighting off the tires in that R32 GTR. Beautiful job around this outside zone. Look at that touch and go. Beautiful job as he transitions nice and hard into the next section of the course. Look at that, filling out that outside zone. I mean, did anybody tell him this is a bye run? I mean, you do not have to drive this hard on a bye run, but team decided to send it anyways for everybody's enjoyment because we do in fact love to put on a show. So next up, I believe, should be Sean Hogan and Jason McCleary. I'm not sure if McCleary did show up, and it looks like he might have because I believe that's his Supra. Okay, so it is Sean Hogan who is driving Jason McCleary's Supra, which is wonderfully confusing. But Sean Hogan, I believe, is going to have another bye run as Jason McCleary unfortunately did not show up today either. A lot of our drivers are unfortunately having a lot of struggles with the VDC 2.0 data, but fear not, because as we do this bye run, I'm going to plug the Series 2 again, because Series 2 is going to be on 3.0 data, and I'm sure a lot of our drivers are going to be a lot more excited about driving in Series 2. So please make sure you head over to the www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com and get yourself entered for Series 2, because we will be on 3.0 data and the competition's only going to get fiercer.
Yeah, here we go. We have William Holloway versus Dan Poole.
Now this is going to be one hell of a battle. William Holloway showing back up. Unfortunately wasn't here for an event or two, but decided to show back up here in that beautiful Kyle Mohan Racing MX-5, driving on a Camus official wheelbase. He is officially now sponsored by Camus wheelbases, and they are a fantastic company. If you're in the market for a direct drive wheel, make sure to head over to Camus and get yourself a wheel. But William Holloway, Dan Paul, both of these guys, phenomenal drivers. We know that Dan Paul's fantastic, and he has done a beautiful job at being very aggressive throughout this series. But William Holloway in the tiny but mighty MX-5, we love to see it here. That 3-rotor powered monster is very, very cool to look at and to watch drive, because, I mean, it is very, very interesting to see how that thing slides around at track. But here we go. Dan Paul in the chase position and William Holloway in the lead. Let's see how they do. Rise over there in that start light. You'll see them flick on the lights and they'll go red for the first 3, and then it'll go green, and that's how you know our drivers are clear to send it.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's get some predictions in chat. Who do you think is going to take the win here? Will it be William Holloway or will it be Dan Paul? And while you're at it, our top 3 front runners are Daniel and Dragiev, Darius Ostreka, and Owen Magner for the championship. So leave your comments down below who you think is going to take it home for their team today.
Yeah, and I actually think that it isn't. I think it's impossible now for Owen Magner to get first place. But it's still between Daniel Andrejev and Darius Ostreka. So.
Alrighty, well, that is our championship run for tonight. So if you do want to be excited about that, we do have our runners. Oh! Big contact as Dan Paul takes off into the back of the MX-5 of William Holloway, but William Holloway now going to go with it. And I think, oh no, they might be calling a restart here, as that start was quite buffed. It was a little bit scuffed here as William Holloway did not take off when he was supposed to, and Dan Paul decided to give him some aggressive encouragement to get off the line.
I want to go. Bang.
Alrighty, we're gonna line him back up again as William Holloway gonna try and go for a better launch off the line here, and Dan Paul's gonna hopefully not send his intercooler into the back end of that MX-5. This is going to be really awesome to see, and as the comments are saying, yes, you're going to want to watch how many flames come out of that MX-5 because, you know, 3 rotors, fire breathing. So here we go, big initiation for that MX-5 into that first outside zone. Beautiful job from William Holloway as he carries a decent amount of angle for that MX-5 through the course here, but Dan Paul putting on the aggression, lunging up onto the side of that little MX-5. That thing is so hard to chase, so it's impressive that Dan Paul is keeping this proximity, but just as I say that, commentator's curse, he falls off quite a bit and cuts the line, straightens out on that transition, and unfortunately will be making that massive mistake. I think it's leaning in William Holloway's favor right now, but we do still have a second run to go and do. So let's get Dan Paul in the lead position and William Holloway in the chase. This is going to be an interesting one, ladies and gentlemen. This could be one of our better battles of the night as William Holloway now prepping to chase Mr. Dan Paul into this track here. We love to see it. This nice and tight layout. It's very challenging for our pro cars to get around this tight layout, but it is a much different challenge than most of the time. So here we go. William Holloway now in the chase position with Dan Paul leading him in. That 180SX looking beautiful as it initiates into that first outside zone. Look at that beautiful job around that transition here with William Holloway putting on the aggression, nosing up onto the side of that 180SX, transitioning now on the back bumper, putting the aggression on, pushing him through the course. Look at this. William Holloway putting that Kyle Mohan Racing and Canvas official car into the door of that 180SX. Beautiful job from both of these drivers as Dan Paul gave him a great lead run to follow. But here you go. You can see here's what's going to happen here as you can see the left-hand screen and the right-hand screen at the same time. You can watch which drivers made which mistakes. William Holloway wasn't super deep on that second outside zone, but Dan Paul, you can see here, lets himself fall off of the chase position and then tries to make a lunge up on the transition, but straightens up instead. So this could be something that is a very, very heavily weighed upon by the judges.
I also think something that we need to point out here. Look at Dan Paul in the chase on his initiation. He was straight past the initiation line, which the judges want you to be in drift on the initiation line. That's also one thing that's hard to catch. But if you look at that replay, you can see Dan Paul straight and then gets on angle.
Absolutely, as well as getting that gap pulled on him by that little MX-5 I mean, that thing is rapid. It is quick. That 3-rotor power is almost the perfect kind of power to put into an MX-5 like that. But here we go. Swipe him left for William Holloway. Swipe him right for Dan Paul, who is going to take the win. That's 1, 2, 3 unanimously. William Holloway in that KMR MX-5 will be moving on to the top 16. And unfortunately for Dan Paul, even though he has quite a few fans in the chat, unfortunately he is going to be packing it up and heading home. But stick around if you're fans of Dan Paul, because we have a lot of good drivers as well moving on to the top 16. And I think that will be it'll more than make up for it. I mean, Dan Paul unfortunately going out, but we do have some really good drivers coming up. So, ladies and gentlemen, I believe Alex, tell us who's coming up next.
Next, we have Anthony Taylor versus John Elgood. This is going to be a very interesting battle here. So we'll be letting these guys fight it out. Obviously, Anthony Taylor being on the podium once or twice, and John Elgood not really doing much yet, so he's going to have to prove himself here.
For sure, Anthony Taylor is a behemoth of a driver and a behemoth of a car. I mean, those Corollas, man, they are a lot bigger than you think they are. I mean, you hear Corolla and you think little like the A86, but no, look at this big initiation for that big car, that Corolla. Wow, John Elgood trying to get up onto the side of that Corolla, but making a bit of a mistake. But now he's lunging up, putting a tire on the front end of that Corolla as Anthony Taylor doing a beautiful job in the lead position with John Elgood. Wow, putting the pressure on through this last section of the course. Big transition. And wow, finishing out the run stronger, both of these drivers. It was a little bit rocky to start with, but finishing out the run super solid. John Elgood putting down one hell of a chase run with a couple of mistakes, but you cannot deny how aggressive he was. But Anthony Taylor threw down a really good lead run for him to have a good chase, so Anthony is going to be trying to get a good chase run in now to solidify a battle win, hopefully, for him.
Yeah,
we love to see it. we love to see our drivers having a good time out there on track, and I believe that that was a great time for both of them. I mean, John Elgood doing a really good job in the chase with, once again, a couple of little mistakes, but Anthony Taylor throwing down a really good lead run, and also possibly making a couple of mistakes that we might not have seen, who knows. But you know, Anthony Taylor doing a pretty good job. That little contact might be a deciding factor in this battle, but here we go. We're going to line them up, and we're going to send them for the second half of this battle.
Yeah, very aggressive from John Elgood there. A couple of contacts, and here we go.
Here we go. John Elgood in the lead position. Anthony Taylor getting a bit of a gap pulled on him. He's going to be lunging in pretty hard, but throwing tires off the track, trying to get into the side of that 400Z as John Elgood throwing down a beautiful lead line. Might have been a little bit shallow in that touch and go, but transitioning now. Anthony Taylor now being aggressive, trying to get it onto the side of that 400Z. Big transition now. Let's see how they do. Oh, man, what a good battle. What do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I don't know. Both drivers making a lot of mistakes here. And you see a bit of contact there from John Elgood, bit of a angle deduction, and a big tap there. But like, they both made big mistakes. Like Anthony Taylor dropping 2, maybe 3 wheels on the first corner. So that could be a big factor. If we look here, how many tires did he drop? So there goes 1, 2. Yeah, I think there's only 2, but yes, they threw it in a bit too hard, and yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, sometimes when you're trying to make up that speed on the entry, you kind of forget sometimes that you do still have to slow down. It looks like Anthony might have just threw a little bit too much at that initiation in the chase position. So that's going to be definitely a deciding factor in the judges, judging, I guess. But we cannot forget that here you go. You can see John Elgood making a bit of a mistake, tapping Anthony Taylor there, and then once again as they come through this zone, you can see nudging and tapping Anthony Taylor there as well. Unfortunately, not causing a 0, so that might not be good for Anthony Taylor, but I mean, it could still be a deciding factor in this battle. But look at that angle from that Corolla. A beautiful run from both of these guys, and John Elgood possibly making contact at the end there as well. But we will see what the judges decide and how they see it. But I mean, look at this. This is one hell of a battle. Both of these guys pushing for inches and getting miles.
Yeah, and I think it could possibly be a one more time at this point. Because honestly, both drivers making very big mistakes in the chase, and yeah, it could go either way, really. But judges doing their job, checking replays, seeing what they can see, and they are trying their hardest to make a decision. They see them two doing donuts and.
Oh no, not them two. Anthony Taylor was just sitting there as John Elgood attempts to assert dominance over the Corolla.
Here we see Royal John Elgood trying to assert dominance over the Corolla.
The Z is the Corolla's natural predator. It is beginning its eating ritual as it circles its prey and will eventually pounce.
The Z tends to do donuts as a victory ritual for killing its opponent. Does he know that the decision hasn't been made yet? And I can see 2 of the decisions here, and it's going to be interesting. Yeah, we have a decision. So
over to the judge's decision here. Swiping left for Anthony Taylor, swiping right for John Elgood. And that's a split decision, but 2 of our judges decide for OMT, which means they'll be going at it one more time. That's what OMT stands for, if anybody was confused. One more time means we're going to rock these drivers again and have them go at it even harder this time and hope that they get a good run. But look at that. You can see the very clear circle of tire marks that John Elgood made by doing those donuts. We appreciate the crop circle artist himself, John Elgood.
Yeah, and we will be moving on to our next group. So yeah.
I believe what we're going to be doing the OMT between Anthony Taylor and John Elgood.
Oh yeah.
Switch over to the next group.
Yeah. Sorry, a bit of brain lag. You know, these drivers have a lot of lag FPS ping. No, mine's just my brain. You know, guys. That's why I'm sitting over here. I'm not out there. Yeah.
You know, Alex is up here. He's in the front runners, but he's kind of like hanging back a little bit. You know, he's a little bit slow.
Yeah, it's just can't reach.
Just like you are when you're driving, Alex. You're slow.
Wow.
All right, but you know who's not slow is Anthony Taylor and John Elgood as they come into this first outside zone. Beautiful lunge by John Elgood getting up on the side of that Corolla.
Oh my
God! But look at these transitions with Anthony Taylor throwing out a beautiful lead run, but John Elgood not giving him an inch. Not giving him an inch whatsoever. You couldn't fit a piece of paper between these two guys. Wow. Look at that chase run. That was one hell of a battle as John Elgood doing a fantastic job in the chase with Anthony Taylor throwing in a really good lead run. Now Anthony knows that he's going to have to pull a rabbit out of a hat here to try and get a chase run just as good as John Elgood's. And hopefully John throws down a good lead run for Anthony to do that. But this is going to be fantastic. Anthony Taylor, John Elgood, second half of this OMT battle. These guys are fantastic. But here we go. John Elgood in the lead position. Anthony Taylor being careful not to get gapped once again. Lunging up, trying to get up onto the door, but doesn't manage to find the proximity until this transition here. John Elgood, though, throwing down a beautiful lead run as Anthony Taylor putting the pressure on through this transition section. Coming up on the side of this 400Z. John Elgood doing a beautiful job in that lead position here as he transitions into the last section of the course and finishing out the run strong of both of these guys. Wow, what a battle, Alex.
Yeah, I think Anthony Taylor didn't really do enough in that chase position. And John Elgood just absolutely putting it onto the door. You can see in his side-by-side, not even an inch on that transition. Obviously, Anthony Taylor getting his moments. But I think, yeah, John Elgood had the better chase here. And if you look at the leads, they're basically identical. So we'll have to let the judges decide on that one. But I think I know who I would go with. And here we go. Waiting and waiting and waiting for the judge's decision. Obviously, it's a hard one for them to do, and they are trying their hard.
Any minute, any hour, any day, any week, any month, any decade now.
Cue elevator music.
No, we need that minute to win it music. But a beautiful run once again from both of these guys. I mean, just look at the prowess on track here of these two drivers just throwing down. I mean, Anthony Taylor once again gave up a little bit too much in his chase run, I feel like, and this could go either way, but I feel like it's leaning more towards John Elgood, but that is also not for me to decide. That is our judges' job. Our beautiful judges, Tyres, Spelthorne, and Rise, as well as Mr. Ardix. All three of our judges very good at what they do, and very, very much eagle-eyed when it comes to looking at mistakes and seeing who should be getting the win and who should be packing it up and heading home. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, while we wait, I'm going to plug this one more time, as if you want to take part in the action next series, in Series 2, our tickets have gone live. www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com. Head over there, and if you feel like you can take part in the action, then you should sign up and throw in your car and get ready to go and have yourself a good time. We will be switching over to 3.0 data for Series 2. Unfortunately, we are still on 2.0 data for this series, as some of our drivers are unfortunately just kind of waiting it out until the 3.0 data comes around. That's why we did have so many buy runs yesterday in top 64, as our drivers are just getting themselves practiced and readied up for Series 2, because with the 3.0 data, everybody is going to be on their A game.
Yes, 100%. It's going to be a very big series next series.
Alrighty. Here we go. Anthony Taylor, swipe him left or swipe him right for John Elgood. And here we go. That's
and there we go.
Not a unanimous decision, but it looks like John Elgood is going to get the win in that beautiful 400Z. And unfortunately, Anthony Taylor going to be packing up that Corolla and heading home. It's sad to see. Anthony Taylor, definitely a fantastic driver, but just didn't quite do enough to get the win over John Elgood. And I believe that means we'll be moving on to our next group of drivers, starting off with Connor Balvey. And here you go. If you want to see our top 16 drivers so far, we have Brendan Stacy, Connor Aspel, We have Danielis Parangauskis versus Simon Sandman. We have Marcel Studzinski versus Dominic Bertmanis. We have Darius Ostrika versus Owen Magner, as well as we have our other side of the bracket here will be Cameron Mustard versus Sean Hogan, as well as William Holloway versus John Elgood. Phenomenal drivers, and it's only going to get better. So let's head over to our ad break while we load in our next drivers.
More battles in the top 32 of the Scottish Virtual Drift Series, and we'll be watching a buy run here from Connor Falvey. Sadly, Mitchell Gibbons could not make it. He won't be competing today, but Connor Falvey gets a buy run and he will be showing us what he can do. We're waiting for that start light to go off, obviously. Have to make sure track's clear, everything, and then we'll send them off. Obviously, if you guys are liking the streams and everything and want to keep watching, make sure to like and subscribe. Click that notification bell, and yeah, stay in the loop for everything. If you want even more, you can go follow the Scottish Virtual Drift Series Facebook page and Instagram accounts. You'll probably find them by just typing in the Scottish Virtual Drift Series, and you will find them both on each platform. But we're still waiting here, waiting for the judges to get ready and send them out. But it looks like we're about to get that. There'll be first 3 red, and then it will go green. And there we go, Connor Falvey. Big flick initiation on the wall. Nice through there. A-line through there. Keeping it nice, big on angle. Transitioning on the A-line. Bit of a shallow line there, B-line, but it back onto the A-line through clip 4. Clip 5, very nice. Coming around into clip 7. And that's it. A very nice run from Connor Falvey there, and a spicy 360.
A beautiful by run from Connor Falvey to add. A beautiful, beautiful job there from Connor Falvey. Yes, I'm back.
Hello there, sir.
Now we have Kyle Falvis versus Daniel Andrejev. Kyle Falvis, a very, very, very new, a new driver to the series, I believe, and Daniel Andrejev, a seasoned veteran.
Yeah, it's a bit daunting for Kyle Falvis here, because he has
just a little bit like you're brand new to the series. Here, have the man from the series. Just have him. Just you can, you know what? You take this. just take this, King. Have a good time.
And if Kyle Falvis is a big fan of Darius Ostraka, he could ruin Daniel Andrejev's championship here. He could stop him from getting first place. So will he do it or will he not? We'll have to see.
For sure, Kyle Falvis and Daniel Andrejev. Daniel Andrejev is just one hell of a driver and is in the chase for the championship, as I believe he's currently the points lead. Daniel Andrejev, a phenomenal driver, that IRT, recognizable blue and yellow livery. We love to see him. Here we go. Daniel Andrejev, Kyle Falvis. Here we go. Falvis initiating. Beautiful job into that first outside clip, coming into the outside zone. Andrejev all over the side of that S14. Beautiful job as they transition here. But Falvis throwing down no slouch going into this outside clip.
Beautiful.
This outside touch and go. Look at that. Beautiful transitions though from Daniel Andrejev. As Mr. Falvis does a beautiful job in the lead position, finishing.
Oh!
Whoa!
And that's in the middle of the track.
We have, ladies and gentlemen, call the police. There has been a murder as Daniel Andrejev and Kyle Falvis run over one of our judges who was unfortunately sitting out there on track, just you know, lounging, getting a tan going on, just sitting out there in his garden chair here. Unfortunately, I think that means we're going to have to rerun the first half of that battle. Kyle Falvis. Yeah, we're going to be rerunning that battle. Kyle Falvis going to be in the lead. And Daniel Andrejev in the chase. Unfortunately, again, running over one of our judges. Just a murder on track. We all just witnessed that.
Yeah, and very entertaining scenes there. Obviously, someone sitting in the middle of a track in a deck chair just stopped a 2-ton car. But you know,
tune in after the stream when we proceed with the criminal trial after charging Daniel Andrejev and Kyle Falvis with vehicular manslaughter.
God damn it.
Stay tuned for the court live stream as we go live from the judge's chair. Will they go to prison? You'll find out after this battle. Hey, you know what? It's virtual drifting, everybody. We do have our mishaps here and there, and I'd say that was probably the height of our mishaps, and I really hope that somebody has clipped that moment as
breaking news. 2 drifters crash into man tanning.
Breaking news, Judge dies at local drift event as vehicular manslaughter was committed, and they ran over a man in a lounge chair sitting out on track. It was a very gruesome scene this morning as authorities and paramedics alike arrived at the scene to find the judge dead on arrival.
Hey, this goes right. He said you're not going to lose if you kill the judges. He isn't wrong. He isn't wrong.
Oh man, we love having a good time out here, and we will be sending these guys again once more. Here we go. Kyle Falvis in the lead position. Daniel Andrejev in the chase. We're going to run this one more time and hope that we don't run over anybody this time. Here we go. Connor Falvis Kyle Felvis, sorry I said Connor, I don't know why, but Kyle Felvis doing a beautiful job in the lead position with Daniel Andrejev, just showing what a masterclass of chase driving he is as a specimen of the drift world here.
Oh
Daniel
my
Andrejev
God.
putting the pressure onto Kyle Felvis as Felvis doing a beautiful job around that last corner and finishing out the run strong. Now Felvis would love to play spoiler here as Daniel Andrejev is in the lead position, or I don't know, as Daniel Andrejev moves into the lead position, is also currently leading in the championship. Kyle Felvis would love to play spoiler and move up in the round and in the event. I mean, this is going to be one hell of a battle. Kyle Felvis is going to be trying to stick with the side of that very, very fast S15 of Daniel Andrejev, a very, very talented driver here. There we go. We're going to be getting ready to send them here any moment. It's Daniel Andrejev and Kyle Felvis. Oh, it looks like Daniel Andrejev is just taking off. He just said bye, like he's leaving. He's out of here.
Bye, have a nice time.
As Kyle Felvis was taken aback by that launch, Daniel Andrejev just saying, "See ya. I'm gonna go take my championship now. They have the cup waiting for me at the end. Gotta go get that. Make sure to get my name on it."
And another viewer just said, judges are clipping points, extra score. Oh my God.
Yeah, Daniel Andrejev was awarded 50 million championship points for striking a judge. I mean, 10 points to Gryffindor, but please don't kill any more of our judges. We need those. Alrighty, well, Kyle Felvis now going to be in the chase position as Daniel Andrejev.
Oh, here we go.
Felvis getting a good launch as he's going to be taking off and going behind. Oh, lunging up onto the door of Daniel Andrejev. Wow! A beautiful showing from Kyle Felvis with an initiation as he puts it onto the side of that S15. Daniel Andrejev doing a phenomenal job, though, in the lead position as he gets out.
Oh my God!
Felvis putting on the pressure. How is he going to do this last transition? The trickiest one on the course. And wow, I mean, if we get our side-by-side up here, I'm pretty sure these
come out
runs are
nowhere.
mirror images of each other. I mean, look at the chase runs. Look, the lunge all the way down to how this transition went, nosing in. You can see Daniel Andrejev nosing in, and you can see Felvis doing the same thing. And then watch this. The same thing happens here as Andrejev is putting on the pressure, falls back just a little bit for this transition and cuts it a little bit tight. And you can see on the right side now, Felvis also doing the same thing, cutting it just a little bit tight, but keeping the car in drift. But wow, we love to see runs that are the exact same. I mean, this was incredible. Like these were mirror images. You are not about to convince me that these were two different runs.
Who is this guy? He just come out of nowhere.
Kyle Felvis showing up as a rookie to the series and just saying, you know what? I don't care that I'm a rookie. I'm still going to go out there and fight the championship leader with all of my might. And hey, you know what? He's got a good shot here at taking out Daniel Andrejev. And if he does and Darius Ostreka moves past the top 16, I believe that Darius will have officially taken the points lead away from Daniel Andrejev. That's only if Andrejev loses this battle. So the judges going to be looking at this very, very closely, as this has some great implications on how the championship is going to play out. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Darius Ostreka and Daniel Andrejev are both the front runners for the points in the championship here. So make sure to leave your comments below on who you think is going to take it.
Yeah,
Darius
100%.
Ostreka.
That dive was just insane.
Absolutely. The lunge up onto the door on that initiation, that was absolutely phenomenal to watch. We love to see it.
Millimeters.
But both of the drivers, I mean, Daniel Andrejev did a phenomenal job in his chase run, but I mean, I did not expect, I mean, like, forgive me, but Kyle Felvis is unfortunately a rookie to the series, so I wasn't expecting what we got. But, I mean, it was fantastic to watch. Look at this. I mean, he's lunging up like he's a pro, and he's been a veteran of the series, but he's, once again, this is his first round. Well, it's impressive the performance he put down. You can see Daniel Andrejev cutting the line just a little bit, making a bit of a mistake. And Kyle Felvis also doing the same thing. Wow, just what a battle. I am dumbfounded up here in the commentary tower. Alex, what are you thinking? How are you processing this?
I think it's a very close battle, but maybe Andrejev had a bit of more proximity. That's the only thing you can see around this corner here. He was just on the door. And then you look at the Andreev's side on the left side, you can see the proximity was way more consistent and a bit closer than Felvis was. And look, just pushing him at that point. obviously backing off of the transition. They both do the same thing on the inner clip, which, to be honest, that evens it out and makes it sort of go sort of Andrejev's way.
Well, man, what a battle this was. And this is only the top 32, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure to stay tuned, as even though this is our last round, it is only going to get better from here. The top 16, we have some fantastic drivers stacked up and ready to go in the top 16, and this is only our top 32. And if we're getting battles like this, I feel like that's a beautiful, beautiful prediction as to how the rest of the round is going to go. Just, wow. The amount of talent on display in this series. I mean, I'm honored to even be around it, let alone be commentating it. But here we go. Swipe him left for Kyle Falvis. Swipe him right for Daniel Andrejev. That's unanimous. Daniel Andrejev gets the win, but I believe it was probably a lot closer than a unanimous decision makes it look. I think that was a very, very close decision. But Daniel Andrejev will be continuing his fight for the championship as he moves on to the top 16. Unfortunately, Kyle Falvis for his first round is still going to end up going back on the trailer. But if you're watching this, sir, as Lewis Monk does the buy run, Kyle Falvis, if you are watching the stream, good sir, I commemorate you. You are a fantastic driver, and I feel like everybody who goes up against you in the future should be terrified. So, beautiful showing for Kyle Falvis. But finishing out his buy run here is Lewis Monks, as unfortunately Jeremy Revat could not make it to the event today. He had some other scheduling conflicts and couldn't make it to the round, which means we do have one more battle for the top 32, but we are going to be doing a quick server restart before that. So unfortunately, you guys are going to have to enjoy some ads while we get the server restarted. So thank you very much, and keep yourselves tuned in.
now, don't be sad. We can be a summer story.
Just you and me, let's escape, girl, tonight.
None of them boy, they no bad. None of them boy, they no bad. None of them boy, they no bad. Black pants in power to some archbishop. Them no bad. Who them from me?
You know I suggest. Suggest.
escape, girl, tonight.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we do have one more battle to get through from the top 32, but we are moving on to our top 16. So first, we will be doing that battle from the top 32, and it'll be Mr. Caden James versus Jason Cave, two very, very fantastic drivers here. And then after this battle, we'll be moving into our top 16. So you will be able to watch that, and we will not be doing a cutaway or anything because we do already have our top 16 drivers loaded in. But here we go. We have Caden James and Jason Cave. Caden James leading in Mr. Jason Cave. Very similar names, like a lot of A sounds in these two names. Caden James, Jason Cave.
Hey, bud.
Oh, dear Caden James and Jason Cave, dear buddy. What are you talking about, eh?
Yeah, that's fine. We're still waiting on the court case and the warrants to go arrest Daniel Andrejev and Kyle Felvis.
Yeah, we are waiting. They will be on the next episode of Judge Judy, where they'll be charged with vehicular manslaughter as they have killed Blackout, and possibly as evidence comes out, it seems that they might have been the ones to push him onto track as well. It looks like we might upgrade the charge from vehicular manslaughter to first
assassination,
murder in the first degree, as if they pushed him onto track, it was premeditated.
Assassination.
Anyways, Caden James and Jason Cave, everybody.
Next episode of Judge Judy. Right, so we'll get on with this battle. Any day. Not.
Here we go.
Oh my God!
Caden James in the lead position and Jason Cave in the chase position. Here with James.
Whoa!
Beautiful.
Backy.
On the in the lead position with Cave throwing good backy, trying to get up onto the door of that A90 Supra. But here we go. Caden James looking really beautiful in that lead position here with Cave just putting it onto the side of that car. Beautiful job as they come down this next section of the course. It looks like Jason Cave does fall off just a little bit, but finishing out the run stronger, both of these drivers.
Oh yeah, but beautiful run.
Don't even start.
Maple syrup.
Alex being from not where I am from, he cannot do a Canadian accent.
Oh yeah, but
Don't even start there, buddy. Don't start, right?
Don't
Don't go appropriating my culture, right? All right, but here we go. Jason Cave now in the lead position, and Caden James in the chase position. That beautiful S13 going to be chased in by that A90 Supra. We love to see the variety of cars here. But Jason Cave now in the lead position. We're going to see that light tree go red for the first three lights. And then once it goes green at the bottom, that's when our drivers are clear to send it. So here we go. Beautiful job as they launch nice and early here with Jason Cave throwing down a beautiful initiation, getting onto that first outside zone.
Yeah.
With, James getting onto the side of Cave, and Alex still attempting to make his impression of a Canadian accent sound good, but unfortunately he just can't quite find it. But here we go as we are focusing back on Caden James and Jason Cave. Cave doing a beautiful job in the lead run, but James could had a couple of mistakes in the chase. So we're going to take it to the judges, and you can watch these side-by-side cameras here from the run. Awesome job from both of these guys. They're doing a fantastic job. Caden James and Jason Cave, also rookies to the series. And This is gonna be awesome.
Hey, you should try say that really fast.
What? Caden James and Jason Cave going on to the judges.
Just keep repeating it. Oh.
Caden James, Jason Cave. Caden James, Jason Cave. Try saying that 5 times fast.
I'm not going to even try.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex telling us what his motto in life is. Alex,
Hey.
not even gonna try.
Nice.
We are waiting. Oh, and somebody is asking what layout. This layout is based off of the KDKustoms layout that they do in real life at Driftland UK. So it's based off of that layout.
Who's the
A
rest?
couple of small adjustments, but a super fun track to watch these big pro cars go around something nice and tight and technical. We love to see the change up, especially after previous rounds where we had the bank. Everybody remembers the bank, and everybody either loves or hates the bank. But at least this round,
the bank. You know, it seems to be a lot like Marmite in the virtual world.
absolutely.
But, you know, only because something's hard to drive doesn't mean it's bad. But we're still waiting on the judging call. Dun, dun, dun.
We are waiting to see what the judges decide in terms of how this battle is going to swing.
Yeah, and Austin has lost all enthusiasm as he is now aged
I'm
20
just-
years since this battle has happened.
Listen, okay, I'm doing all right. All right, I'm doing fine. All right, I'm just a little bit tired from this event. It's got my throat acted up. I can't do it anymore. I will be announcing my retirement after this event.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Hey, I'm walking here. What are you doing?
I want the coffee.
Okay. We've gone from Canadian to Bostonian.
Yeah, but
All right, stop. it's over. It's time to stop.
oh yeah, but
No, stop. No, like this is the final warning, Alex. Stop doing a Canadian accent. Alrighty, we go swiping left for Caden James and swiping right for Jason Cave. Very similar sounding names once again, but that looks like not a unanimous, but we are gonna see Caden James move on to the top 16, which means now we get to move on to the top 16 and catch up with our drivers, Mr. Brendan Stacy and Connor Aspel. Brendan Stacy being a privateer, but Connor Aspel coming from Hardstyle Drift Team. Love to watch these guys go out of that S15 going up against that S14. It's an all S chassis battle as we get them lined up here. Brendan Stacy ready to take the
100%.
position.
And you know, me being me, just realised I've been on my headset mic this whole time, so yeah.
You love it?
So I switched microphones. Probably not any better, but you know.
No, absolutely not, as your audio quality seems to have gotten noticeably worse, but here we go. Brendan Stacy
Wow.
and Connor Aspel, we're going to get ready to send them here any moment now. As the judges get them lined up. The camera's a little bit far away and we won't be able to see the light tree, but we'll be able to know when they take off and go in for that entry. Speaking of cameras, let us know in the comments which camera you guys prefer to watch from. Is it the one in the sky, the one by the side of the track, or this one here as you see the close-up of the initiation? What do you guys prefer? But here we go, Brendan Stacy now. Connor Aspel coming into the chase here. Brendan Stacy throwing down a beautiful initiation, nice and deep in that first outside zone, right in the white line. As Connor Aspel does a phenomenal job in the chase, and Alex forgets that there's echo coming from my voice coming back through the microphone, and Brendan Stacy doing a beautiful job in the lead position with Connor Aspel all over the side of that S15, trying to get up onto the door and finishing out the run strong with no more echo from Alex.
My bad.
Indeed. It was your bad. Anyways,
Yep.
Connor Aspel doing a phenomenal job now. And he's going to be going into the lead position. And we'll see him go at it here in just a moment.
Hey, Austin.
What?
Oh, yeah, bye.
Okay. Ladies, gentlemen, and everybody in between, if you guys know anything about this series, you know that about now, normally a little bit later, we start losing our sanity, and we start talking about things like food and having bad accents.
Oh, yeah! Food!
Because, for whatever reason, we are the weirdest commentators on the planet, and instead of going to another car topic...
That's what
we
makes
start
us the
talking about
best.
what goes into our bellies.
No, that's what makes
All right,
us.
but here we go. Connor Aspel now in the lead position with Brendan Stacy now in the chase. Here we go. Connor Aspel doing a beautiful job on that initiation. Also riding the white line. Beautiful job as Stacy tries to get up onto the side of that S14.
Oh, yeah!
As Stacy lunges up. Aspel possibly making a slowdown where he shouldn't have, but we're not sure. We'll have to take a look at the replay after that. But Stacy trying to get up onto the side of that S14 and manages to find the proximity, finishing out the run strong.
Oh, you can see a big dive there. Oh, yeah, bit of contact there. Coming around into here, and it looks like the car just stopped moving. But we can't tell because judges will decide for us, as we are not judges. Yeah, so, yeah, Austin, slowly losing my sanity.
Absolutely. Alex also learning or losing his vocabulary. Go figure. I made fun of you for losing your vocabulary, and then I couldn't make up a word. But I mean, I'm excited for the result of this battle. Will it be Connor Aspel or will it be Brandon Stacy? Here we go. Take a look at the side by side, and you be the judges yourself in chat and pick out who you think is going to win. Brandon Stacy, Connor Aspel. Both of these guys very talented drivers, but that contact is going to be what's most noticeable by the judges, and they're going to be seeing who takes the blame for that one, as contact can lead to the end of a battle.
Here we go. Swipe them left for Brendan Stacy. Swipe them right for Connor Aspel. And 1, 2, 3. Connor Aspel gets the win and will be moving on to the top 8.
We're getting requests from chat to change the cameras back to, I'd imagine, the bird's eye view up in the sky.
And you know, we haven't had any big crashes, Austin. You know, I think people have listened to us about going to like all our sponsors. You know, now I think some of them have got some of their TD tires on. You know, and then they've had their car tuned by Mclellan Motorsport and Haltech. It's just a good day. It's a good day. See what happens, guys, when you go to these people up in the top of the screen. Your car performs well.
For sure. But while we're talking, we do see that our drivers have lined up. Our next battle is Danielis Parangauskas and Simon Sandman. I love to see these guys go at it. And, Simon Sandman, a sensation among the chat. Here we go. Simon Sandman ready to chase in Danielis. Here we go. Danielis throwing out a beautiful initiation, but Sandman all over the side of that 370Z, transitioning bumper to bumper. Sandman trying to get up onto the side of him. Danielis, though, throwing out a beautiful lead line, coming into these touch and goes, coming out to this outside zone. Now let's see how they do. Sandman putting on the pressure, just moving behind that 370Z, finishing out the run strong. Wow, Simon Sandman. I mean, I'm starting to understand why the chat loves him so much.
Yeah, and Danielis is going to have to do a lot here to try beat that.
That was one hell of a chase run. Now Sandman's going to get to show his lead driving prowess as well. Now that they're in the lead position, here we go. We got him started pretty quickly there. Danielis going to be on the door of Simon Sandman, lunging in, nosing in on the door of Simon Sandman. Here we go. Danielis, though,
big dive.
Jump in the chase, falling back just a little bit as he transitions a bit too hard.
Pulling back
takes the car, but Sandman, though, throwing down a beautiful lead run as Danielis does a beautiful job in the chase position, transitioning just a little bit late there, but getting around behind Mr. Sandman. Fantastic job from both of these guys. Danielis, a very aggressive driver, no slouch, and is not trying to let to roll over and let Sandman and get the win. But Sandman also doing a phenomenal job as he is trying to move up in the event and hopefully land himself somewhere good in the points by the end of the event. Awesome job from these guys. Sandman, definitely a sensation with the chat. Everybody loves him. We love to watch everybody enjoy their favorite drivers here. And while we're at it in the chat, why don't you, anybody watching the stream, I'm going to try and get you guys to enjoy hanging out with us here in the chat. Put in the chat, who is your favorite driver of the series so far? Who do you think is one of your favorites, and who are you cheering for to do really well? Put that in the chat. Tell me who's your favorite driver. And I have a feeling a lot of these answers are going to be Simon Sandman because he is a sensation out here.
Yeah, there it is.
Yeah, everybody's saying Sandman in the chat. Keep putting him in there if you're enjoying this. And if you want to see your favorite driver do well, put that in the chat. Send them some positive love. Some feedback. We love to see it. Everybody's enjoying Sandman.
Yeah, because he's such an aggressive driver and he always puts on a show for the crowd. So yeah, I could agree with these guys. Simon Sandman is a very proven driver and he is doing so well.
Absolutely. We love to see everybody shouting for their favorite driver, Lewis Monks. Not sure what game over means, but hey, we're having a good time out here. Lewis Monks having gotten a bye run in his last run, so he'll be enjoying that. But we'll be going to the judges here, and you'll see swipe him left for Danielis Parangauskas and swipe him right for Simon Sandman. That's 1, 2, 3. Sandman gets to move on, and everybody in chat is going to be ecstatic about that. We love to see Simon Sandman going on. And Danielis Parangauskas, unfortunately, does have to go back up onto the trailer, but that's fine. It happens, you know. And Alex, who's up next? We got.
Here we go. Marcel Sosinski versus Dominic Bergmanis. As we've seen, these two drivers are very proven, and we are going to get a hell of a battle here.
For sure. Here we go. We're going to get them lined up here any moment now. Dominic Bergmanis and Marcel Studzinski, two very, very impressive drivers. Studzinski there in the lead with Bergmanis in the chase here. That S chassis going to be leading in that A80 Supra. We love to see it.
Some of the chat saying Burger Man.
We love Burger Man. Here we go. Studzinski in the lead position. Bergmanis in the chase. Here we go. Studzinski doing a beautiful job in that lead position as he goes so nice and deep in that first outside zone. Really fast, too, is that S chassis. Bergmanis, though, putting down a beautiful chase run as he's no slouch, trying to be aggressive here. Studzinski doing a beautiful job in that outside zone with Bergmanis just matching everything that he can and doing a beautiful job while doing it. Wow, what a run.
Yeah, very beautiful run there from Marcel and...
See, somebody's decided to turn on motion blur for this run.
Well, who turned the lights on? But yeah, we'll be going on for the second half. Nice launch from both drivers.
Beautiful job here as they initiate. Here we go. Bergmanis doing a nice job in that first outside zone, but possibly putting a tire over the line. With Studzinski trying to get up onto the side of that A80 Supra. Doing a beautiful job through these touch and goes as he's trying to get up.
Very nice.
Close the door, close the proximity here with Bergmanis, though, putting on a solid lead line, finishing up the run very strong. A great run for both of these drivers.
Yeah, and it's a hard one to judge really for these two because obviously Bergmanis having some mistakes and dropping tires, which is a very big deduction in battles. So yeah, it could be maybe Marcel or one more time, in my opinion, but that's not for me to decide.
And ladies and gentlemen, while we are waiting for the judges to decide, I'm going to beat this dead horse one more time. You can get yourself slotted into Series 2 if you want to try and compete and you think you have what it takes. Head over to www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com and you can get yourself some tickets to get into Series 2 if you think you have what it takes to compete against some of the best in virtual drifting. Make sure to head over there to www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com. And here we go. Swiping left for Marcel Studzinski. Swiping right for Dominic Bergmanis. And wow, a very quick and unanimous decision. Marcel Studzinski gets the win and will be moving on to our top 8.
Yeah, Marcel Studzinski putting out a statement tonight, and he is coming for another win as being the winner of last round. So let's see what he can do. But we'll be moving on to our next battle, which will be... Let's find it. Magna versus Ostraker. Okay.
This is gonna be a battle. Owen Magner, unfortunately, I don't think is in points contention for the championship anymore, but I feel like at a smite he might be wanting to take down Ostraker's chance at it as well. So he'll be pushing hard to try and beat Darius Ostraker here in order to take back some of his pride here, as Owen Magner is still going to try and move on to the end of the event here. Darius Ostraker, though, in the fight for a championship, so you know he's not going to leave anything on the table here, and he's going to try and pull off the best run that he can. But Owen Magner in the lead position with Darius Ostraker in the chase. Both these guys absolutely fantastic. Both these guys driving those S chassis. We love to see it. Link ECU, and I'm actually not sure what the main sponsor of that yellow S15 of Darius Ostraker is, but we're going to have a good time here and watch these two go at it. Blue and yellow out on track, S15 versus S15.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to be putting down an amazing battle. Obviously, both being championship contenders.
This could very well be the best battle of the night, Alex. Are you excited? I'm excited. I think you're excited too, but are you excited?
For sure, 100%. This is going to be the best. I think it will be the best battle of the night, but only time will tell, and we're waiting for these judges to send them off. But they like to hold us for a bit, but we will get off soon. But yeah, we'll be waiting for these drivers to get sent off, and yeah, we'll see then. We can't say any more. These guys need to fight it out and have fun.
Ostraker, Owen Magner, both of these guys, fantastic drivers. Here we go. Owen Magner leading in what is possibly going to be the best battle of the night. Look at this, Owen Magner.
Here we go.
First outside zone. Ooh, Ostraker possibly having a bit of trouble trying to get into angle there, but putting on the pressure now. Already pushing Magner through this track. As Magner
my
doing
God!
his best impression of the perfect man himself, James Dean, as he's doing a beautiful job in every clip here. Man, doing his best impression of some of the best in the world. Darius Ostraker, though, putting on one hell of a chase run and having been stuck to his door ever since just after that first outside zone, where he did, in fact, almost, it looked like he almost was straight, like he was trying to keep the car at angle. I'm not saying he was straight or he was even close to it, really, but he was almost having a bit of trouble there. So it'll be interesting to see how he does on his lead run. Magner, once again, would love to play spoiler to Darius and this run here. But Owen Magner now in the chase position as Darius Ostraker is going to lead him in. Big initiation on that first outside clip. Magner diving up onto the door, trying to keep the proximity, angling up just a little bit, transitioning to get with Mr. Darius Ostraker. And Ostraker doing a phenomenal job, as he normally does in the lead position. Oh! Bit of contact there, hanging up the transition of Darius Ostraker from Owen Magner, but Magner going to be trying to get up onto the side of that S15 Sylvia. Oh, big contact after the line. I think it's the first big crash we've seen between two drivers.
Yeah.
Aside from when Daniel Andrejev and we ran over one of our judges, or one of our streamers, I guess.
Yeah, I did forget about that one, actually. Yeah, I don't know.
Update on the court case. The prosecutors have officially charged them with murder in the first degree. Joking, by the way, obviously. Owen Magner, swipe him left, or Darius Ostraker, swipe him right. Judges are going to be making a decision. That's 1, 2, 3. And unfortunately, Owen Magner will not be playing spoiler as Darius Ostraker gets to move on to the top 8. Oh man, this is shaping up to be one hell of a top 8 of bracket. But next up, I believe, will be Cameron Mustard versus Sean Hogan, and this is going to be a interesting battle for sure. John Elgin, or I believe it's John Elgin. Sorry, no, it's Cameron Mustard. Cameron Mustard, showing that he is a phenomenal driver, I believe, being on the same team as John Elgood, and that might have been what got me a bit confused there. But Cameron Mustard is a phenomenal driver. That R32 is one of the fastest cars on this track, and it's got quite a bit of grip, so it'll be interesting to see just how well Sean Hogan does up against it. Also not quite driving his own car. Sean Hogan, I believe, is driving Jason McCleary's Supra, as McCleary has decided not to show up, but this is going to be an interesting one.
And you see there, Stu, just enjoying the battles, posing for the camera, as usual. But we'll be looking at this beautiful track. Obviously, you can see Scottish Virtual Drift Series. And talking about Scottish Virtual Drift Series, Austin is going to beat a dead horse again.
Well, yes, I am going to beat a dead horse again, because Series 2 tickets have gone live, and if you think you have what it takes to go against some of the best drivers in virtual history, you can sign up for the next series at www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com. If you think you have what it takes, sign up, get a ticket. You can either do single rounds or the whole season. So, have yourself a good time, and make sure that you go over there, because, if you want in on the action, you gotta get in on it quick.
100%. We will be waiting for the next battle, and here we go. Cameron Mustard versus Sean Hogan. Sean Hogan flying down the track, trying to get to the start line. But I'm guessing Cameron Mustard is already at the line. And yeah, you can see the bunch of tyre smoke from him warming his tyres up. And there is that Jap Speed R32.
Drivers go up against each other. Mustard and Hogan, beautiful, beautiful cars here. But Hogan also, once again, not driving his own car. That is Jason McCleary's Supra.
Mm-hmm.
But Mustard,
big gap,
flying around this track. But looks like Hogan's anticipating it, leaving quite a big gap between him and Mustard, so that he can make sure that he gets a good launch, gets himself rolling before Cameron Mustard does. Here we go. Hogan and Mustard, two phenomenal cars. Here we go. Hogan in that A80 Supra, Mustard in that R32. You can see Hogan slowly but surely inching himself up, wanting to get on the back bumper. Here we go, and it looks like it's going to work. Cameron Mustard going to be setting it in. Big initiation here on the wall. Nice big angle. Hogan almost going straight into the door, but manages to put on the brakes and slow down that Supra before it went ballistic missile into the door of that R32. But transitioning now is Mustard looking beautiful on that outside line with Hogan trying to keep the proximity. It actually is managing to do it quite well, doing a phenomenal job in that second half of the run, but did definitely have that mistake on the initiation, and the judges will probably be taking a look at that.
Yeah, 100%. That will pull into... He'll be in the middle for this battle. There's not really many advantages for each driver in either side. So we'll go into the next half. It's more important what happens here. And that time will tell what will happen in the end of this battle.
For sure. Cameron Mustard now going to be in the chase position with Hogan in the lead position. Cameron Mustard. Sean Hogan. You're ready to set him for the second half of the battle. I'm not sure why it is taking so long, but it is, unfortunately. This does happen from time to time. But here we go, Cameron Mustard, Sean Hogan. Hogan going to be sending it into that 80 Supra. Big initiation. He's going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat to forego that mistake that happened in the first run here. But Cameron Mustard, not a slouch, getting onto the door of that 80 Supra. Beautiful job so far. He's putting it onto the side of that car. Beautiful.
my God.
Wow.
On the door.
Cameron Mustard putting down
Oh,
an
and the
incredible chase
transition.
run, but Sean Hogan doing a phenomenal lead run to boot.
Yeah, and I don't know what the judges are going to be thinking. It's going to be a very tough decision.
Absolutely. I think what's going to weigh most is that mistake you just saw on your left-hand screen was when Sean Hogan was almost not straight, but had a very shallow initiation and almost hit Cameron Mustard, looking like he was almost out of control of his vehicle. So it's possible that the judges are going to weigh on that quite heavily. But look at this. Beautiful, beautiful runs from both of these drivers. Just phenomenal. Phenomenal. We love to see it. Dying over here in the background. Don't smoke, kids. Don't smoke.
These judges do take their time on these calls to make sure these guys get the fairest of calls possible, and it looks like no, not yet. And yeah, it looks like we have a decision. Swipe him left for Cameron Mustard, swipe him right for Sean Hogan. 1, 2, and 3, and Cameron Mustard moves on to the top 8 or 4. It'll be the top 8. But
Absolutely. It's going to be super fun to see them go at it. Coming up, we have a very exciting battle. We have William Holloway versus John Elgood. Both these drivers are phenomenal. Holloway driving the KMR MX-5 and John Elgood driving that 400Z. We love to see it. We love to see the variety of builds that these two are probably couldn't be more different in terms of the kinds of vehicles they are. William Holloway and John Elgood, both very, very talented drivers, and their cars are even cooler. Here we go. You can see William Holloway there on the left, John Elgood on the right. William Holloway driving for Camus and KMR. Going to be putting one hell of a fight against John Elgood here. But here we go. William Holloway in the lead position, that 3-router MX-5 with John Elgood behind him in that 400Z. William getting a big jump of speed. A little bit of contact between him and John Elgood as John tries to put it onto the door of that MX-5 transitioning. Look how much bigger that 400Z is than that MX-5. It makes it really hard to chase a much smaller car like that, but William Holloway doing a fantastic job
Very nice.
around this course. We're getting a little bit too tight to that inside clip as we do want our drivers a little bit outside on that clip. Keep in mind that clip is a backwards inside clip as it is an A to D line, as in the farther out you are on that clip is the better line. It's very interesting and different for our judges and different for our drivers as well. William Holloway sniffing the back end of that 400Z. He's like, I'm coming for that bumper, boy. I'm coming for it. Coming for the back half of that car, as William Holloway is going to be trying to stick with Mr. John Elgood. Is now John Elgood now in the lead. And here we go, green light. You can see him go off here. John Elgood now going to be in the lead in that 400. William Holloway lunging in and putting contact on the door of John Elgood. John Elgood now trying to keep the run going here, keep the run alive, keep yourself alive. You got William Holloway behind him here, putting on the pressure. John Elgood, though, doing a beautiful job in the lead line. Wow, what a battle.
yeah, very good battle indeed. But that's going to cost him. He was basically straight there, and then he just...
Looking at it, I don't think he was straight, but it was definitely an interesting initiation. He was trying to keep the car at angle, and it looks like when he finally did get on throttle, John Elgood also grabbed an angle in front of William Holloway. So it's possible that the contact might not be at fault of that mistake from William Holloway, but it's also possible that it very well is. So it'll be interesting to see what the judges think of that, as William Holloway was quite shallow in terms of angle, and by the time he did grab an angle, there was contact. So it'll be interesting to see what they are thinking up there in the judges' tower. Two very interesting builds. We love to see the 400Zs. They're becoming more popular as we get farther into their shelf life. as Nissan has just released the 400Z, and they are super cool cars. And very similar to 370Zs. If you are in the market for getting a brand new car that you can also make into a drift car, 400Zs are pretty good. They do not come with limited slip diff from the factory, though, so you'll have to weld your own, which is reminiscent of old Zs anyways. And William Holloway in, Miata, which is, as we all know, is always the answer.
Yeah, and it
So
looks
here we
like
go. But will it be the answer for him today as they swipe him right for John Elgood? I didn't even get to a chance to lay out the options. William Holloway, unfortunately, will be heading home in that KMR MX-5. I mean, unfortunately, he made a mistake. That was too much to handle for the judges, and John Elgood will be moving on to our top 8. Unfortunately, William Holloway will be heading home. Well, I'll see you later in the Drift Squad Discord. I'll chat with you about it later, but John Elgood moving on, which means I believe our next battle should be Connor Falvey and Daniel Andrejev. Man, that is going to be one hell of a battle. Connor Falvey is both a talented sim driver and a talented real-life driver, and Daniel Andrejev is our most consistent and, I believe, points lead at the moment. So, this is going to be one hell of a battle. This could be a barn burner right here for sure. Connor Falvey and Daniel Andrejev. This is going to be a battle for the ages. Love to see it here. Connor Falvey getting the engine revved up and ready to go here. Super exciting to see. Connor Falvey, Daniel Andrejev.
ding 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 ding.
Pretty sure we'll get copyrighted striked for that, but that's fine. Connor Falvey, Daniel Andrejev waiting for the judges to send them. I'm not sure why it is taking so long to send these drivers, but here we go. Daniel Andrejev, Connor Falvey, Andrejev taking that early start.
Oh,
And it works!
my God!
Launching up!
Oh my God!
Falvey does a beautiful job in the lead position, but wow, you cannot miss that initiation as Daniel Andrejev is putting it on the door. Wow!
Oh my God!
Action is almost hard to watch as Daniel Andrejev practically killing Connor Falvey out here with that incredible chase run. That was sensational. Daniel Andrejev now going to be moving into the lead position. And Connor Falvey has definitely got his work cut out for him in the chase position as he switches into it now. This is definitely going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen, and everybody in between. I hope you're enjoying today. And drop in your comments, who do you think is going to take it home today? At the end of the day, who's going to sit on that top spot? Who do you think is going to take it home? And who do you think is going to take the championship? Because right now it is a dead battle between Daniel Andrejev right here and Darius Ostraka. So leave your comments who you think is going to take it home for the championship. And Connor Falvey, unfortunately, getting gapped a little bit, but going to be lunging in, trying to get up onto the door. And contact, but Daniel Andrejev keeps cool, calm, and composed as he moves into this next outside zone. Connor Falvey trying to get up onto the side of that IRT S15. Look at that push in that proximity. He manages to clean up the run and gets behind Daniel Andrejev, but Andrejev just unfazed, throwing out a beautiful lead run that anybody would be envious and would want to be able to pull off as well. But wow, look at this side by side as you can see that Daniel Andrejev lunge. I mean, at this point, he's got to put a patent on that lunge because he is just absolutely the only person I've seen put in that much lunge and actually manage to not hit the guy in front of them. But wow, just what a fantastic job from both of these drivers, Daniel Andrejev and Connor Falvey, both phenomenal drivers. Falvey also being an IRL driver, having competed in both DMEC and I believe IDC. But Connor Falvey, Daniel Andrejev, swipe him left for Connor Falvey, swipe him right for Daniel Andrejev, and unfortunately, I think I know which way is this going, and the judges do confirm it. That is all three of them unanimously siding with Daniel Andrejev, moving on to the top 8, which means Connor Falvey, unfortunately, in the top 16, will be heading home. Probably less than he wanted in terms of results, but still a fantastic showing from Mr. Falvey as Daniel Andrejev takes it home. Next up, who do we got next, Alex?
Next, we have, if I check, Lewis Monks versus James.
Lewis
Yep.
Monks versus Caden James.
Yeah. This is going to be an interesting battle, this is, because obviously Caden James being new, but Lewis Monk's not really making it this far. So he's got something to prove here, and he's going to have to take down Caden James with it.
Absolutely. Lewis Monk's not going to be in the lead position, and Caden James in the chase. James and Monks. You can see Caden James lining up behind Lewis Monks. Lewis Monks, a phenomenal driver. We've seen him in the series before. He's absolutely fantastic. And Caden James now going to be lining up behind him. He's questioning himself there as he backs off, and he's trying to be like, do I really want to get into this scenario? Do I really want to go up against this guy? And I think he's going to want to. So Lewis Monks in the lead, Caden James in the chase. Let's see how they do. Here we go. Lewis Monks. Send it. And here we go. Caden James in the chase position, possibly taking off just a little bit too early as Lewis Monks now flicking it into the initial. Caden James though trying to lunge but doesn't quite find the proximity. Unfortunately, Daniel and Andrejev are probably the only person able to pull off a lunge like that. But wow, look at that. Caden James putting on the pressure. And now as Lewis Monks throwing out a beautiful lead run as he gets out into this outside zone. Caden James putting on the pressure, practically pushing that S15 through that last section of the course. Finishing out strong are both of these drivers. Wow. For our last battle of the top 16, this is going fantastic so far as we are going to line them back up. And Caden James will take the lead spot and Lewis Monks will take the chase. I think you all know the drill by now, but this is still going extremely well. Let's have a good one.
Yeah, we'll have to swap them around to make sure they are ready, and they will be off any moment now. These two drivers putting on a very good first half of this run.
Caden James and Lewis Monks getting ready to send it here for the second half of their battle. Lewis and Caden, both of them fantastic drivers and have showed that they have a lot more potential than anybody might have given them credit for. But Lewis Monks is really good, as well as Caden James is, having been a rookie to the series, being new as of yesterday. This event in general. Hopefully he goes to www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com and signs up for Series 2, as you can too if you want to. If you want to compete and you think that you have what it takes to go up against some of the best drivers in the series, make sure to head over to the website www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com and get yourself entered to Series 2. And I managed to run through an entire ad for Series 2, and they still haven't taken off for the second half of their battle. Come on, judges. Let's get Caden James and Lewis Monks on the way. Come on, judges. Let's get them sent.
Yeah.
We are waiting. Oh, we can see some exhaust gases coming out of Lewis Monks' car, so this could be where we get our guys taking off here. Lewis Monks, Caden James.
Nope.
Come on. Any day now. Any millennia now at this point. Just waiting.
Sometime
Alex, what's your favorite kind of sandwich?
Okay. That was wrong. Toasted or not toasted?
We'll start with toasted and then not toasted.
Toasted, ham and cheese.
Oh, yes. Classic.
Non-toasted, beef.
Ooh, yeah, beef, my boy. Okay.
There we go.
Well, before I can put my answer in, Caden James and Lewis Monks finally taking off. Caden throwing out a beautiful initiation.
Big
Big
bracket.
angle as he puts to a tire off the course. Lewis Monks trying to adjust, trying to adapt to what's going on in front of him, putting on a pretty decent chase run, all things considered. Caden James, though, doing a beautiful job for this next section of the course as Lewis Monks falls back just a little bit, trying to find the proximity, but just can't seem to find it enough at the end there. We'll take it over to the judges' screen in just a moment, but after you watch these replays. Now that I have some time, I'm going to say that for my favorite sandwich in the toasted sense, I'm going to have to say I'm a bit of a shill. You know, I love some Subway. I like to get the smoky bacon and ham. That's gonna be my favorite one. I throw in some Swiss cheese onto that, and throw some olives on that sandwich because I love me some olives. But here we go. Swipe them left and swipe them right. Lewis Monks or Caden James, who's gonna take it home today? That's 1, 2, 3 for Lewis Monks. Takes the win, and we'll be moving on to the top 8. And Caden James, unfortunately, will be putting it back up onto the trailer, but it was a pretty good showing for Caden James as he is a rookie to this series and a rookie to this event. Beautiful job from him, but unfortunately will be heading home in the top 16.
Yeah, we'll be moving on to the top 8, which our next battle will be on the screen. So here you go. Aspel versus Simon Sandman. Marcel Szynski versus Darius Ostraka, Cameron Mustard versus John Elgood, Daniel Andrzejewicz versus Lewis Monks.
Definitely going to be a really good. I'm looking forward to that Connor Aspel and Simon Sandman battle, but the one that everybody probably has their eyes on is that Studzinski versus Ostraka battle. Connor Aspel and Simon Sandman now going to be going at it. Connor Aspel, a fantastic driver, and has been showing up and showing out in this series. But Sandman is the sensation. Everybody loves a little bit of Sandman.
Everybody loves Sandman.
Everybody loves sand except for Anakin Skywalker. We love Simon Sandman over here, but unfortunately Anakin doesn't like sand. It's coarse, it's dry, and it gets everywhere. But Sandman loves to play around in it. But we'll keep it on the tarmac hopefully today as he will be chasing in Connor Aspel. Connor, a phenomenal driver and definitely a respected driver among the series. He comes from the land that this place is from. He's from, I believe he's an Irish man, but he's very close to Driftland in terms of it's a few hours and you're right there. So Connor Aspel throwing it in, beautiful job around the outside zone. Look at this with Simon Sandman toe in the chase. Look at that masterclass in transitioning as Simon Sandman doesn't leave an inch between his bumper and Connor Aspel's. Look at this, putting on the pressure, putting Connor Aspel through this section of the course. How's Aspel going to do as he comes around that final inside clip? And wow! Now the question is, who's going to be at fault for that contact? Was Connor Aspel going too slow, or did Simon Sandman just get a little bit over-aggressive, overzealous over there, and get too up in the face of Connor Aspel? Who knows? But Aspel now is going to be moving into the chase position. If he doesn't park it right there, he's going to be moving up to behind Simon Sandman.
Yeah, he's
going to be in the lead position.
We see you, Connor. You're not meant to be doing that. He's trying to talk to his spotters. But you are not allowed to stop and talk to your spotters, sadly.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, show your support for Simon Sandman or Connor Aspel in the chat here. As Simon Sandman throws it in big angle around that first outside zone. Wow! Connor Aspel all over the door, being aggressive, launching in onto Simon Sandman's door. Look at this, Sandman throwing a beautiful lead run, but Aspel is not backing it down. He knows he's got a chance after that contact, and he's trying to get up onto the door of Simon Sandman and finishing out the run strong. Just a phenomenal battle from both of these drivers. This is going to be a tough one. I do not envy the judges whatsoever. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a very close battle. Simon Sandman with a cleaner first half, as you can see, maybe. But then we come into the second half here. We need to look at the left side. As you can see, Simon Sandman, just pushing Aspel maybe a bit too much there. And that could be the end of Simon Sandman's reign. But did Connor Aspel do enough to keep it?
And this is an interesting battle for sure. Watching the replay of this here, you can see just where it happens as they transition through here. They Simon Sandman just getting right up on the door and just nudging Aspel on the front half of the car, which is causing Aspel to understeer just a little bit as he tries to keep it on track and manages, fortunately, to keep it on track. But it might be a deficit to that HKS S15 of Simon Sandman. It might be a detriment to that, as if Sandman got too far into the door and was just pushing Aspel around, Connor Aspel might be moving on to that top 4 position. But that'll be in the judges' hands. Just waiting for a call from our judges to decide who is going to get the win here. Look at this side-by-side replay. You get to see just how close this battle was. You're going to be sending it here. I mean, look at this. Simon Sandman and Connor Aspel, just 2 phenomenal drivers. And no, neither of them wants to back down. Simon Sandman once again getting aggressive in the chase position and putting contact on the door of Connor Aspel, but also throwing down one of the better lead runs we have seen all day, just fully committed to those outer zones and just doing a fantastic job all the way around, with Aspel doing a pretty good job in the chase too, but definitely banking on the contact as he wasn't as close as Simon Sandman, unfortunately. Just waiting for the judges to make a call. And ladies and gentlemen, while we do it, I'm going to beat this dead horse until it stops spitting out sign-ups, as Scottish Virtual Drift Series is having a Series 2 coming out in the summer. So make sure that you head over there, get yourself some tickets to get into Series 2 at www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com. And yes, I will keep plugging that because it's my job.
Yes, for sure. And it's going to be a very entertaining season. And you don't want to miss out.
A phenomenal battle so far, and I'm sure the judges are looking at it quite closely to try and figure out who's going to take the win here. Will it be Connor Aspel in that S14, or will it be Simon Sandman, the sensational Simon Sandman, in his S15? Just waiting as we listen to Alex O'Hara breathe into his microphone like he's just come back from a 10-mile run.
No, it's my fan. My number 1 fan is blowing wind at me.
Yep. Connor Aspel, though, throwing down really good. I mean, Simon Sandman we already kind of knew was going to be fantastic, but Connor Aspel came out and just came out swinging, throwing out a really good lead run and a fantastic chase run. And unfortunately, Simon Sandman was bumping Connor Aspel through this section. You see on the left side of your screen as we go through it now, bump, and sends Connor Aspel wide. So here's where we're going to be trying to get a judge's decision here. They're going to be watching it nice and close and making sure that they get the correct judgment here.
Yeah, and it's a very hard decision for these guys to make, because if they make the wrong choice, they start getting into issues, and they don't want that. So they want to make the best choice possible.
For sure, but no matter what happens, I think both of these drivers are going to be quite happy after getting to the top 8. I mean, even if you go out here, I mean, saying that you got the top 8 is like, or
nearly top 4. This top 8 is top 8. It's just me.
Yeah, the top 8. I mean, going out in the top 8 is still a pretty good achievement. When you tell your friends you made it to the top 8, they all give you a pat on the back. So, I mean, hey, listen, even if you go out, even if one of you guys goes out, I mean, I hope you guys understand that you guys both did a fantastic job. I really hope you guys are watching the stream right now, because up here in the commentators booth, we are just dumbfounded at the amount of talent that comes up onto this track. And it is just impressive to watch a close battle like this. And ladies and gentlemen in the chat, once again, we hope you guys are enjoying yourselves and having a good time. Just watching these cars go around side by side. It's like figure skating, but with cars.
Do we have a
And here we go.
decision?
We finally have a decision. Swipe him left for Connor Aspel and swipe him right for Simon Sandman. Let's see. Here we go. That's one judge, two judge. And it's an entirely split decision, and they will be going one more time. Connor Haspel and Simon Sandman going to get to try again and go after a win here. Now, I'm not sure. Are we going to move on, or are we going to do that battle once more? That'll be the question here, as the judges will pick the battle to go up to the line here. Alrighty, well, I'm getting word that we are going to send the OMT right away. So once again, if you are a Simon Sandman fan, as it seems like everybody in this chat is, if you are a Simon Sandman fan, you're going to get to see him go one more time. We appreciate that you are holding your breath in the chat, but please don't do that. That does lead to oxygen asphyxiation. We don't want you to choke, is what I'm trying to say. So please do yourself a favor and breathe in for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, and breathe out for 4 seconds as you make sure that you are nice and calm, so that you can get excited again as we see Connor Aspel and Simon Sandman go at it once more. If you're a Simon Sandman fan, I don't know if you're going to be able to breathe through this entire run, as this OMT battle is about to level up, I'd imagine.
Yeah, and he's getting a big gap getting ready for that takeoff. And he's definitely going to try his hardest.
Oh man, but here we go. Simon Sandman, Connor Aspel. We're going to get rid of the 7 here any moment. Here we go. Connor Aspel in lead position. Simon Sandman in the chase. Connor Aspel lighting off those tires nice and early, getting a nice big initiation. Simon Sandman might have gotten caught off. Connor Aspel goes wide around that first course and puts 2 tires off the track. And Simon Sandman now finally nudging into that chase position, but maybe being phased by it a little bit as he moves up onto the door of that S14, but not quite as aggressive as he was before. I think he's being a bit hesitant after what possibly could have lost the battle last time. So he's trying not to hit Connor Aspel, as Sandman now is going to go around the course. And whoa, shading. We love when Thole bugs out a little bit, but here we go. Simon Sandman now going to be in the lead position, and Connor Aspel going to be in the chase. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're a Simon Sandman fan, throw a wave in the chat and be excited about it. Simon Sandman, the sensational Simon Sandman. I think that's going to be his new name. If he comes back next season, he'll be the sensational Simon Sandman. Let's hope nobody muddies the reputation and rains on his parade, as he's going to try and get out into the lead position and do a phenomenal job and hopefully take the win over Connor Aspel. But Aspel still would like to play spoiler and get over Simon Sandman in the standings here. But here we go. Simon Sandman, beautiful initiation, nice and big on that wide line, not going wide like Connor Aspel did before. Oh, big legs.
Wow.
Starting that run as we had a massive lag spike, so I imagine we're going to send our cars again. Connor Aspel finishing out the run, even though he's going to be blowing off his tires. We don't
I don't think they're resending him. I think that's going to be it. Yep.
It looks like we're going to be rerunning it.
Nope.
Oh, are we not going to be rerunning it? Okay, it looks like Simon Sandman is going to get the win. I'm not sure how that happened, and I might have just missed something, but Simon Sandman, if you're a fan of him, I mean, the sensational Simon Sandman gets to move on to the top 4, and Connor Aspel, unfortunately, has to pack up and go, which means I believe next will be our battle between Marcel Studzinski and Darius Ostraka. Now that is going to be a barn burner.
For sure, and Daniel Andreev is praying that Darius Ostraka gets knocked out here, but if he doesn't, it's going to be a very big problem for Daniel Andreev.
Alrighty, but here we go. Darius Ostraka and Marcel Studzinski, both of these guys, fantastic drivers, and we know that they are capable of greatness. So Marcel Studzinski and Darius Ostraka. Ostraka will be chasing first with Studzinski in the lead. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're having a good time, throw a wave in the chat or say something in the chat. If you're having a good time watching the stream, let us know. Yeah. Sending this run here. Here we go. Marcel Studzinski and Mr. Darius Ostraka here. Studzinski into that first outside zone. Ostraka lunging up onto the door of that RPM S14. Beautiful job through that section. Oh no, sorry, it's an S15. My bad. Studzinski doing a phenomenal job into this outside clip. Wow. Darius Ostraka, though, just all over the side. That chase driving prowess is just showing immediately from Darius Ostraka, the prowess that he has as a chase driver and just as an aggressive driver in general immediately was shown to us by that last run. So Studzinski has got a handful to deal with here as he's going to try and chase in Darius Ostraka and hopefully not get gapped on the initiation because Darius Ostraka is quite quick. Alrighty, here we go. Ostraka nice and decent into the first outside clip. First outside zone. Big angle. Studzinski, though, trying to stay on the door. Beautiful job, though. Big transition, trying to stay on the side of Ostraka's door. Manages to keep it as he puts on the pressure through this section. Look at that. Ostraka, though, throwing a beautiful lead line, finishing out the run. Wow. What a battle.
Yeah, that was identical. I think that, just look at the side-by-side. It's basically the same run. Look at that. I don't know what's going to happen here. This could go to one more time.
Absolutely.
This is a very interesting battle. We're waiting for the judge's decision. Yeah, and it looks like it is in.
Alrighty, let's swipe him left for Marcel Studzinski, swipe him right for Darius Ostraka. Let's see who they decide gets the win. That's 1-2. It's not unanimous, but two judges have decided that Darius Ostraka is going to get the win. It will move on to our top four, and unfortunately for Marcel Studzinski, he will be packing it up. But hey, grade 8's nothing to sneeze at, and I hope that he goes home happy with that result. Darius Ostraka, though, definitely going to be even more happy as he approaches that top four position and will be fighting to get to that top spot.
Yeah, 100%, and we'll be waiting for the next battle to come up, which
will be Cameron Mustard versus John Elgood. Wow, that's going to be a battle. I'm pretty sure they're teammates.
Nope.
Are they? I thought they were.
No.
I'm sorry, I thought they were.
Nope, I don't think so.
Huh. Well, they might have similar liveries then.
Yeah, they both have replica liveries.
Yeah, but John Elgood and Cameron Mustard. This is going to be one hell of a battle. Yeah, see, very similar liveries. But yeah, one of them.
There we go.
One of them is from KO. Oh wow, they're already going. Cameron Mustard in that lead position. John Elgood, look at that, all over. Oh, Cameron Mustard into the bank. Oh, he goes up into the grass embankment and unfortunately does not finish the lead run, but will try and get a chase run apparently as John Elgood finishing out the run in that 400 to see. And look at that, finishing out that run beautifully. Unfortunately, though, for Cameron Mustard, he made that massive mistake in that transition. Transition just a little bit too late, and looks like he made that mistake, unfortunately. to be a very interesting battle as we move into the second half. Cameron Mustard in the chase and John Elgood in the lead position. That 400Z versus that R32. Two Nissans, but they couldn't be more different. Cameron Mustard in the chase position. John Elgood throwing it in nice and deep on that first outside zone. Wow, big angle from John Elgood as Cameron Mustard doing a phenomenal job in the chase. He's going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat here and try and actually get an advantage as he has a massive 0 in that first round. But look at that, John Elgood just pulling away from Cameron Mustard, who has to drop angle to try and get a gain of that proximity, but finishing out the run very strong are both of these drivers. Cameron Mustard, John Elgood, everybody. We love him. We love to see him.
Yeah, and I want to see if there was any contact on that transition. We always need to check, and there could have been.
It'll be up to the judges to look at
Yeah,
that.
to be honest,
Couldn't really tell from the angle that we're at.
Yeah, it does look like a bit. It does look a bit weird. Cameron Mustard's car just gained speed, because if you look at the momentum of the car coming through here, it's same speed, boom, straight into the bank.
Yeah, it could have been either or. It could have been John Elgood tapping a mid-transition, or Mustard not transitioning hard enough and the car gaining too much momentum during the on-throttle portion of that transition. Who knows? It could have gone either way, but the judges will be the ones to decide which way it actually went and decide who gets the win. Will it be Cameron Mustard or will it be John Elgood in these two very
and they got a decision. They have a decision.
Who's going to get the win? Swipe him left for Mustard, swipe him right for John Elgood. It looks like John Elgood was at fault for that 0, as Cameron Mustard will be getting the win. Sliding them all the way left is all three judges being unanimous. Cameron Mustard gets to move on to the top 4, and unfortunately John Elgood will be packing it up and moving back home. Going back home, not moving back home. But next up is a battle that I'm sure everybody's super excited for. Is Daniel Andrejev versus Lewis Monks. Now this is going to be a phenomenal battle. Lewis doing a phenomenal job so far, being an underdog in the heavy hitters that everybody else has been. I mean, so is Cameron Mustard, to be honest. Mustard is a little bit of an underdog as he's a driver, but Lewis here, I mean, going up against Daniel Andrejev, I mean, this is his Everest. This is Lewis's Everest. If Lewis can beat Daniel Andrejev, I think he'll be accomplished in life.
Yeah, and Darius Ostraka, this is his only chance to win. If Daniel Andrejev don't get knocked out here, Andrejev wins the championship. So, this is a battle for the championship right here. So, Lewis Monks has got big weight on his shoulders.
Here any moment. They just have them sitting back here. And this is going to be crazy. Lewis Monks and Daniel Andrejev. Andrejev going to be leading in first. Lewis, I believe this will be the first time he's chased first all day, so hopefully he'll have some fresh tires as he's warming them up and blowing them off here. Lewis Monks in that Kazama Auto S15. We love to see a very pretty car to look at, but hey, is it going to be able to compete with Daniel Andrejev? That'll be up to Lewis Monks, whether he's got the talent or not. He's got to try and get up on the side of Daniel Andrejev, or there is just no chance at victory here. So Lewis has a lot to overcome here.
Yeah, we'll be waiting for the judges to send them off. We'll wait for the starting light to go red, and then it will go green.
And that'll be what signals our drivers to take off. Unfortunately, you guys can't see the starting tree right now, just because of how far back Lewis Monks is parked, ready to take off. Getting ready to send him here any moment now.
Yeah, it looks like they are ready, so they will go.
There we go. Daniel Andrejev in the lead. Lewis Monks not letting himself get gapped as he flicks it in behind Daniel Andrejev. Look at that. Andrejev throwing
very
a beautiful
nice
lead run, but Lewis Monks right up on the side of him, knowing that he's got to be very fast and very aggressive to keep up with Daniel Andrejev. As Andrejev doing a beautiful job in that lead position, coming into the front zone.
Pulling the gap.
Nicely done, but Lewis letting a gap kind of come up onto him a little bit, just a little bit here. But now they're going to be able to switch it up and see how Daniel Andrejev does in his chase position. Now we're waiting Monks and Daniel Andrejev are going to be swapping
This
it
is the
up.
battle. This is the
This
battle,
is it.
Austin.
This is the run. This is the battle. This is the one where will David be able to take down Goliath? Here we go. Lewis Monks. Oh, big contact on the initiation or takeoff. But Lewis Monks going to do it anyways, sending it into that first outside zone. Nicely done. Daniel Andrejev a little bit phased, trying to get up onto the side of Lewis Monks, but now he finally manages to find the proximity as Lewis Monks doing a beautiful job in that lead position. But Daniel Andrejev just putting the pressure on. Look at this. He's going to start trying to push.
Oh, here we go.
Of course, Lewis Monks, though, putting out a beautiful lead
Very
run, finishing
nice.
out. Nicely done from both of these drivers. Now the judges are going to have quite a bit to look at here.
I want to have a look on that first corner. Was he straight? Because that could be a 0 if he was straight, Daniel Andreev.
Daniel Andrejev, a phenomenal driver, and I believe still leading the points at this point. But Lewis Monks definitely trying to play spoiler here, trying to take down Daniel Andrejev, trying to take down the giant. That is that IRT S15.
The judges are taking their time on this one.
For sure, especially because of the implications that this has on the championship. They're definitely trying to take this really seriously.
100%, and it's gonna change the whole series with this goal, you know? The points and everything will change. But if
For
Daniel
sure.
Andreev does lose this, Darius Ostraka will have to get a first place finish, I'm pretty sure, to win. So it won't be over for Daniel Andreev. He'll have to hope if he loses this. But we'll let the judges decide.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are still waiting on a decision from the judges.
Yeah, and they're taking their sweet time with this one.
Absolutely. Take a look at this side by side and watch the runs as you can form your own opinions here. As Daniel Andrejev and Lewis Monks went at it. If you're just tuning in now, we're in the top 8, the final battle of the top 8. This is Lewis Monks versus Daniel Andrejev. They are going up against each other in hopes that either Daniel Andrejev is hoping to keep moving on and get a championship, or Lewis Monks is trying to play spoiler and move himself up in the line here. And we've got a couple of mistakes to look at as the judges are going to be watching to make sure who was at fault for any of them.
Man, the judges are taking their sweet old time now.
Absolutely, but that's what we want here, as we want our judges to make sure that they make the right call, as the implications of this battle could be massive and ripple out through the entire event and even through the series. So this battle is going to be a good one. Well, it was a good one.
Yeah, will be. No, not yet. I'm seeing a lot of things change in the bracket. We'll be waiting. Okay.
We're taking a decision here in just a moment. Looks like they are sending it one more time here. Look at that. Daniel Andrejev doing a beautiful job in the lead position with Lewis Monks unfortunately having a massive mistake in that chase position, which might solidify the loss. He is way behind as Daniel Andrejev finishes out the run quite well, but Lewis Monks nowhere to be found as he finally crosses the line, finishing out the run. Apologies for being late on that one. We were not made aware of the one more time until it was too late because the judges decided to just run them. Chase.
Here we go.
And here we go. Lewis Monks ready to send it here. Big initiation. Bunch of angle and Daniel Andrejev all over the side of Lewis Monks. You know, Daniel Andrejev was probably told by his spotter that he could back off, but he's not letting an inch get between him and that other S15. He wants to make sure he solidifies this. He doesn't leave it in the judges' hands. Look at this. Wow, coming down the hill. Beautiful job by Daniel Andrejev. And I think I know which way this is going, Alex, unfortunately, for Lewis Monks. I think that mistake on that first initiation in his chase run might have been a little bit too much.
Yeah, for sure. But I do want to have a look at what happened in Andrea's lead because I didn't really get to see part of that. But we will be waiting for the judges' call. Yeah, so we won't be able to see what happened there, but it looks like all three judges have a decision.
All right, we'll be taking it over to the judges' screen to see who wins between Daniel Andrejev and Lewis Monks. Swipe him left or swipe him right, Daniel Andrejev or Lewis Monks. Let's see what the judges decide. Oh! And it looks like Lewis Monks is going to get the win. I'm quite surprised by that, but Lewis Monks takes the win, which means he's put Daniel Andrejev out of commission, which means I believe, do not take this as gospel here, but I believe that if Ostrika goes on to win the event, I think Ostrika could pull out ahead and take the championship home. I don't want to jinx anything, but Daniel Andrejev might have just left his cards on the table.
Yeah, I think whatever happened on that entry really solidified it.
Absolutely, but now we get to move on to what is perhaps the most exciting part of our day. We have our final four drivers. If we can get the bracket on the screen here as we are going to show you guys our final four drivers. We have Simon Sandman and Darius Ostrika in our first battle, and Cameron Mustard versus Lewis Monks in our next battle. This is going to be one hell of a final four, so make sure you guys stick around. I mean, this is where it's going to get really good. I mean, it's been good already, but it's about to get really good. Simon Sandman and Darius Ostrika. Now, hold on. Where have I seen this before? I think we've this has happened once before in the finals of the last round, or not last round, but the round beforehand. I believe it was round 3. But here we go. Look at this, Darius Ostrika and Simon Sandman. Beautiful job as Darius Ostrika is all over the door of Simon Sandman coming out of the outside clip. Simon Sandman going to be looking for retribution as the last time these two drivers went up against each other, it was a loss for Simon Sandman. Sandman, though, doing a beautiful job in the lead run, and wow, it is going to be hard for Darius to match that. Ostrika and Sandman, look at these two drivers. They are fantastic drivers. Oh man, both of them practically mirror images of each other, but now we're going to get ready to send them here once again. Simon Sandman and Darius Ostrika in the top 4. This is about to be legendary. Simon Sandman ready to send to that HKSS 15, and here we go. Darius Ostrika in the lead position, firing into that initiation. Look at that. Simon Sandman all over the side of that yellow S15 as he tries to gain that proximity, pulling up. Look at that big lunge onto the door of Darius Ostrika, and Ostrika looking really good into this next outside zone. Simon Sandman putting on the pressure, but Ostrika coming down the hill with furious intent as Simon Sandman noses up to finish out the run. What an exciting battle. I don't know about you, Alex, but it might be looking a bit grim for Simon Sandman, as I don't think he had the proximity in the chase that he needs to pull out a win, unfortunately. But I do believe that he had a nice lead run. Ostraka, however, just pinpoint accurate, an absolute machine, a robot, a programmed response, if you will. I mean, this man is just absolutely on his game, but Sandman not about to let it go, not about to stop fighting. He fought his hardest through that entire run, and I'm sure that even if he does lose here, I think that the fans of Simon Sandman will be ecstatic at the result. I mean, he still does get to go on and do a third place battle if Sandman or Ostraka loses, but I mean, you want to be the winner here. You want to go on to the finals. It's those top two positions that everybody's after. And I think that everybody's excited in the chat about Simon Sandman's possibility of getting there. But Ostraka could, unfortunately, not unfortunately, but Ostraka could be moving forward as well. But the judges, you know damn right, are going to be doing their best to make sure that these guys are being judged upon correctly. But while we wait for the result, once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be part of this action, you can go over to www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com and get yourself a ticket for Season 2. Simon Sandman, Darius Ostraka, swipe him left and swipe him right here. And it looks like, oh, unfortunately for the Simon Sandman fans, the Sensational ends up heading out in the top 4. Darius Ostraka will be moving on to the finals. But fear not, Simon Sandman fans, you guys will get to see him fight for third place. But for now, we get to move on over to Lewis Monks and Cameron Mustard.
Yeah, and there we go. This is going to be one battle to watch. Obviously, Cameron Mustard doing his best so far. This is the furthest he's ever got, and same with Lewis Monks. So both of these guys are going to try their hardest to get on that podium and get into the finals. And it looks like we're going to go any second now as Lewis Monks creeps forward slowly, and here we go. Oh, no. Oh, there we
Here we go. Cameron Mustard in the lead position. Lewis Monks in the chase. Here we go. Who's going to make it to the finals here? Cameron Mustard. Beautiful initiation out into the first outside zone. Lewis Monks was a little bit shallow, but manages to find the box. And he gets up onto the side of that R32 GTR of Cameron Mustard. Cameron, though, doing a beautiful lead line. Lewis Monks, though, pushing him through the track, coming down the hill with such ferocity. This is insane as Lewis Monks makes a snappy transition behind Cameron Mustard to finish out the run. Wow, what a battle so far, Alex. What are you thinking?
Yeah, it's a very nice battle so far. You can see a bit of a gap left between them two, but towards the end he started getting onto the door and Cameron Mustard laid down a nice lead run.
For sure, but now we're moving into the second half of the battle. Who is going to go on to the finals? Will it be Lewis Monks or will it be Cameron Mustard? We're about to find out after this battle. Here we go. Lewis Monks getting lined up, getting ready to take off. Cameron Mustard now in the chase position in that R32 GTR. Let's see how they do. Here we go. Drivers getting ready, revving up their engines. And here we go. Lewis Monks now S15 with Cameron Mustard in that chase position in his R32. Look at that. Whoa, big contact! Contact as they come around the first corner. Lewis, though, still keeping the car in drift as Cameron Mustard had to shut it down. Unfortunately, Lewis trying to keep it going. Look at that beautiful job in that first outside clip. Not outside clip, but touch and go, and also not the first. But Lewis Monks throwing down a beautiful lead line for the rest of this run, but unfortunately the judges are going to have to look at that contact. If we can throw up a replay of just that run here, you can see right here, Lewis throws it in, big angle, gets on throttle, but Cameron Mustard has already hit him and keeps stopping him from continuing to go. So we're going to have to see how it goes.
Lewis Monks just stopped the car as soon as he got tapped. He's like, yep, that's it. And
It looks like, well, I mean, it looks like Cameron Mustard went into Lewis Monks after being aggressive on that decel initiation, but Cameron, look, you can see, hits him before Lewis lights off again, and by the time Lewis tries to light off and left foot back to get himself back into line, Cameron just kept hitting him, unfortunately. So who knows what the judges decide. I mean, I've got my own opinions, and I'm sure Alex does as well, but we're trying to remain partial up here in the booth as Lewis Monks does a pretty decent job in the lead position. Who is going to move on to the finals? It'll be the judges' decision on that, and who's going to go against Daniel, or not Daniel Andrejev, who's going to go against Simon Sandman in that top 3 battle. This is going to be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. This is definitely going to be an interesting battle. Who will move on to the finals and who will be going against Simon Sandman for that third place battle? Who knows? The judges are going to be looking at this run quite closely to decide whose mistake it was that caused the contact and zeroing out of Mr. Cameron Mustard.
Yeah, and the judges are going to be looking hard at this replay and seeing who they think will win this. But till then, Austin can beat a dead horse.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, if you do want to compete in the next series of SVDS, the Series 2 competition tickets have gone live. If you think you have what it takes to go against some of the best, then go ahead and sign up over at www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com and make sure that you're solidified in. Who's going to go on to the finals? The judges taking a look at this. What I presume they're going to be looking at is this contact here and decide whose fault it was. Definitely going to be interesting for sure. We apologize that it is taking a long time, but our judges do like to look into these battles a lot and make sure that they get their correct judgment because they do want to make sure that everybody is happy. But here we go. Finally, swiping left for Cameron Mustard, swiping right for Lewis Monks. Who's going to go against Darius Ostreka and who's going to go against Simon Sandman? And it looks like Lewis Monks gets the win and will be moving on to fight Darius Ostreka in the finals for that top spot. And Cameron Mustard is going to get to go against Mr. Simon Sandman and finish out and try and get a third place podium, which means I believe we'll be moving on to our third place battle immediately. It'll be Simon Sandman and Cameron Mustard. Ladies and gentlemen, this one is going to be a fantastic battle. Simon Sandman fans, let's see you in the chat. Cheer on your boy, cheer on your man, the sensational Simon Sandman. Ladies and gentlemen, he's about to try and fight Cameron Mustard for that third place, and I think nobody wants to miss it. So make sure that you're in there. Make sure that you're showing him your love for Simon Sandman and Cameron Mustard.
Yeah, for sure, and this is going to be a very good battle between these two. Both of these guys fighting hard. So, let's get ready.
Absolutely. Here we go. Simon Sandman in the lead position at HKS S15. Cameron Mustard right behind him. Whoa, big lunge. Contact there as Simon Sandman understeers because of the contact, but manages to keep the run going, getting into this outside zone. A little bit of left foot break as he's trying to get out to that outside touch and go. Cameron Mustard throwing it onto the door of that S15, but look at that. Simon Sandman unfazed, throwing that S15 around like he's a pro, and he definitely is as Cameron Mustard finishes out the run behind him. And Simon Sandman, wow, the talk of the town is going to be that contact between the judges there. They're going to want to look at that after this run is over and see who was at fault for that. But it looked like Cameron Mustard just lunged in a little bit too hard. Now here we go. We're going to see the second half of the battle. Simon Sandman and Cameron Mustard. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you paid for the whole seat, but you're only going to use the edge of it. Let's see let's see how these guys are going to do. Here we go. Simon Sandman, Cameron Mustard. Simon Sandman going to be entering in behind Cameron Mustard. Look at this beautiful initiation for Cameron Mustard. But Simon Sandman all over the door of that R32. Look at this. Sandman just sensational all over that door. Getting up onto the side of that R32. He's trying to push up, get that proximity. And look at this. All that Cameron Mustard looking really beautiful in the lead position. Simon Sandman. Oh, bit of contact as they go over the line.
That might be it.
No.
That might be it.
This could be it, but it does not change the fact that contact at the start of that run, Cameron Mustard pushing Simon Sandman off the end, but the judges are going to be deciding whether or not that contact at the end was the fault of Simon Sandman or if it was Cameron Mustard, possibly going too tight to the clip. Who knows?
Yeah, see,
And up in here now you can see the rest of this run here as they come in. Look at this. Simon Sandman all over the door of the R32 of Cameron Mustard. And Cameron Mustard throwing out a really beautiful lead run that you cannot deny was a pretty talented show of, well, talent. And Simon Sandman just kind of getting right up onto the door. But right here you can see, oh, never mind. We're not going to do that. We're just going to go straight to the judges table. Look at that. One more time. And you'll see Simon Sandman and Cameron Mustard go at it again. Now, keep in mind, by the way, that we will not be announcing the winners or losers of these last few battles because we are going to take it to an actual podium down there. Not an actual podium, but we're going to take it down to the actual judges' chat and have them announce who is going to take the win. So you will be sitting on your seat, and you will be sitting on the edge of your seat until we do announce that. But here we go. We're going to see him go at it one more time. Simon Sandman and Cameron Mustard for their one more time battle. This is legendary. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're having a good time today. And if you're a Simon Sandman fan, make sure to put it in the chat. Have yourself a good time. And here we go. Simon Sandman in the lead position. Cameron Mustard in the chase position. Here we go. Simon Sandman throwing it in. Beautiful job on that first outside clip. Cameron Mustard doesn't hit him this time. Simon Sandman throwing down all of the angle, putting it down as deep as he can. But Cameron Mustard not giving him an inch, but he's not going to let him take that mile either. Putting it right on the door of Simon Sandman.
Oh my
beautiful
God.
through this course. Wow. Cameron Mustard leveled up between those last two runs as he was all over the side of the door of Simon Sandman, but Sandman doing a fantastic job in the lead as always. Oh man, this is going to be one hell of a second half of this run. I mean, Simon Sandman is definitely going to be pushing his hardest to try and get a good run with Cameron Mustard here, as Cameron Mustard definitely being the underdog of today. But here we go, Simon Sandman and Cameron Mustard. Simon going to be on the back door of... Wow, look at this. Cameron Mustard throwing down a beautiful lead run, but Simon Sandman not giving him anything. He is trying to stay on the side of that R32, and beautiful job through this transition. Look at that, lunging up perfectly as Cameron Mustard doing a beautiful job throwing out a good lead run, but transitioning now. Simon Sandman practically transitioned his bumper through the back end of Cameron Mustard and finishing out the run strong. Wow. Who do you guys think is going to take third place on that battle? I mean, I think I know what the answer is going to be in the chat, but we will be taking it down to the judges center to announce the winners after this. So, unfortunately, you guys will not get a winner. If there is one, if it's an OMT, we'll show you guys that it's an OMT, but Simon Sandman and Cameron Mustard, two phenomenal drivers. You cannot deny the talent on display here. Simon Sandman, just a phenomenal lead run, just very consistent, but Cameron Mustard showing up and showing out today as he's never been this far in a competition, and I don't think he wants to go out in top 4 now, so he wants to try and get that third place and say that he got on the podium today, because everybody really wants to get on the podium today. But here we go.
Gonna be a hard choice.
Once we do have a decision, we're gonna move on to the battle between Darius Ostraka and Lewis Monks.
Yeah, and they have a decision, so we'll be moving on to the next battle. Darius Ostraka, Lewis Monks.
Alrighty, here we go. Lewis Monks and Darius Ostraka. Darius, no stranger to the top spots that he's in right now. But Lewis Monks, I believe this is the first time he'll be sitting on the podium. So this is going to be fantastic. And will he be able to shoot for a win? That'll be the question. But here we go. Darius Ostraka and Lewis Monks. Going to get him up to the line here in just a moment. These drivers warming up their tires. This is 2.0 tire. Do need a little bit of help to get themselves up to temperature here as they almost collide back ends there, doing their figure eights. But Lewis Monks, wow, this man has been showing up and showing out today as he is the, I wouldn't say rookie, but to the winner's circle, I feel like he's pretty new to it. So he's not going to want to stop now. He's loving the dopamine rush of getting up to that top spot, and he's going to want it. So Darius Ostraka now in the lead and Lewis Monks in the chase. Here we go.
Yeah,
Here we go. Darius Ostraka for your final battle with Lewis Monks in tow. Here we go. Darius throwing it into that first outside clip, getting into this outside zone. Nicely done. Big angle. Lewis Monks, though, not about to give him any room here. Trying to get up onto the door. Manages to find the proximity coming into that next clip. Into this outside touch and go. Now Darius throwing down a near perfect lead run as he comes out to this outside zone. Lewis, though, all over the side of the S15, but falls back just a little bit. Has to cut the line just a little bit to get up onto the door. That's going to act as a detriment to Lewis Monks, so he's going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat in the lead run, and Darius is going to have to stay nice and consistent as he knows how to do. This could be a very big upset if Lewis does a very good job here, but who knows? Lewis currently, I'd imagine, sitting at a bit of a deficit because of having to cut the line there, but Darius definitely going to have to put down a good run because it's not just clear, cut, and dry. Here we go, Lewis Monks for your final battle of the night. Let's send it, Driftland. Here we go. Lewis Monks in that first outside zone with Darius all over the side of Lewis Monks. Look at this, Lewis throwing down a beautiful lead line, but Darius is just pushing him through this course. He says, you know what, you're too slow for me. I'm just going to start moving you through this course to make sure that you're going to do this. Look at this, Darius all over Lewis Monks' door, and that is your final battle, ladies and gentlemen. What a showing from Darius Ostraka as he shows his prowess in both lead and chase driving. Look at this side by side here. Darius throwing out a beautiful lead run on the left-hand side of your screen, but on the right, wow, just what a battle. Darius throwing out a beautiful chase line, just absolutely fantastic. And in just a moment, if we do get a decision, we'll be moving on down to our judges chat for them to announce your winners. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned, stay on the edge of your seat, and enjoy yourselves. And while we wait for the judging call to happen once again for the final time of the night, head over to www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com and get yourself a ticket to enter Series 2. I mean, it's a no-brainer at this point. We're all doing great. We're having a good time out here, and if you want to be part of that, and if you want to be part of this environment, you better go get yourself a ticket. There are still some live that you can get for either events, or you can get the whole season. So make sure to go sign up if you think that you can compete. Have yourself a good time, and we'll be moving up to the chat in just a moment as I see they've server muted all of the drivers so that we can make sure that we have a nice, clear, cut, and dry stage for Rise, Ty, Brandon Carter, and Ardix to be in there. So, ladies and gentlemen, we should be taking it over there in any moment as we wait for our decision.
We're going to move to judges. I'm going to move to judges check.
Alrighty, look at this. You can see a nice, beautiful shot of Darius Ostraka's S15 and Lewis Monks' S15. I mean, like, if I had to pick, I'd still probably pick Lewis Monks' S15. I'm very partial to that Kazama Auto kit. Very cool body kit and a very different looking body kit than you normally see. So I'm a little bit partial to that. But Darius Ostraka with that nice, simple, clean over fender look with, I believe, is a Ryzen kit, I believe. With that front bumper, I'm not quite familiar, but getting a nicer shot at it is Blackout here, our streamer and resident cameraman. And I mean, look at these cars, both of them very, very aggressively set up. You can see that beautiful front camber out front and the toe in that they've probably got in that rear end. I mean, just look at these cars. They are poised and ready for battle, which they've already done. So, I mean, they just get to chill here and wait for a result. And we'll be moving up to the other chat any moment now, as long as we do have a decision. So, ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you guys enjoyed the event today, and stay tuned because we are going to get our podium soon. But I really hope you had a good time, everybody.
Alright, so we'll be moving to the Group 1 voice chat, and we will be announcing our winners.
Alrighty, let's move over.
Beautiful. Right, so we're going to be announcing your winners of round 5 of the Scottish Virtual Drift Series. So we're going to start with third place. Your third place for round 5 is Simon Sandman, and then we'll move on to first place. The winner of round 5 of Scottish Virtual Drift Series is Darius Ostraka. So second place will go to Lewis Monks, and hard charger is Daniel Andreev.
Yeah,
Congratulations. Congratulations to all drivers. Thank you so much. Amazing driving from absolutely everybody.
And ladies and gentlemen, please do not forget as we wrap out the stream here, make sure to head over to www.scottishvirtualdriftseries.com and get yourself some tickets to enter Series 2 because Series 1 was great, but it only gets better from here.